Yeah, I'm very busy. What's going on?
Hey, welcome to Small Screen Live. Good to see everyone in the chat. Welcome. Edward is away on vacation right now, but I'll be filming a little bit. Clint will be doing the majority of it because you know how I am. We're going to say some hi to Bobby. Good to see you, Bobby. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling good. And we've got EJ. Hello there. Let's find that.
Hello there.
And Raj is in the house. Hey, what's up, Raj? How's it going? Hope you're doing well over there in across the pond. Good to see you. And we got Johan here. Johan, how's it going, man? I hope you're doing well. I hope your friend's doing well. And we've got Reeves. Everyone wants a hello there, so we'll do this.
Hello there.
And we'll do this one.
Hello, Peter.
Hello there.
All right, today we're going to be talking about the Obi-Wan trailer and the Deadpool news that just broke about Sean Levy directing it, the Free Guy director, and Ryan Reynolds' best friend. We're going to talk about the Moon Knight posters. We'll be talking about the DC films being delayed. Clint and I are going to geek out talking about Star Trek Picard Season 2, Episode 2. I'm excited about that. And then we're going to talk about the DC films being delayed and Ben Affleck supposedly news of him not dying in the end of The Flash because of the Grace Randolph tweet that she put out just after the announcement that the merger was okayed by the stock people. the majority stockholders. Yes. Anyways, I'm going to bring Clinton now with his, I think he's got a snazzy new haircut. I'm not too sure. But I'll leave you to him and we'll go from there.
You son of a bitch.
Hey, what's up, guys? Man, it's good to see you guys. How you guys doing out there in Chatland? How we doing? Boy, Edward, we miss you, man. Where you at, Edward? I'm excited to be here today. We got a lot of crazy news this week. I felt like last week was kind of a slow week, and then all of a sudden, just the oceans of nerd stuff just opened up and just spilled on our laps. So we're gonna, like he said, we're gonna have a lot to talk about. Man, the DC stuff's going to be a big one. We may get some help in a little bit with that. So, man, what do you want to cover first, man? I'd say there's so much to cover. Obi-Wan.
Hello there.
That's exactly what I wanted. I just watched that again. I am super stoked on this Obi-Wan trailer. Anybody who knows me knows I am a Star Wars dork through and through. I watched this and man, I, like everyone else in the world, had quite a range of emotions, and I'm super excited, like I am about everything. But man, I'm really excited about this. There's a couple of little things that as I surf the YouTube channels out there and the Twitterverse, some of the Star Wars people have a couple of minor complaints. I want to talk about whether they're being picky or not, and if we need to worry about that, or if we just need to look to the future with good faith. How you doing over there, James? I haven't even hardly got to speak to you. We were just like, hey man, you ready? Yeah, okay, let's jump on, and here we are.
I'm doing well, man. Kill 2 more minutes. I'll get all the graphics up for you.
All right, cool. Yeah,
people are talking to you in the chat.
Oh, I'm not seeing any of the chat. Let me see here. Oh, I got it. Here we go. Hey, Raj. Man, we got all kinds of chat stuff in here. Where in the world is Edward Lauder? Edward it's a secret. He didn't even tell me. So I'm sitting here wondering the same thing. So we're all on the same page as far as that goes. There's 3PO in there. Bobby, how you doing, Bobby? Sorry, guys. I'm driving to get some dinner for the fam. Can't stay saying hi to everyone. I'll be back listening as soon as I can. All right, Jedi Master EJ. We went ahead and did the Obi-Wan stuff first so that you wouldn't get to participate. We know you're not. We can tell that you're not really a fan of Star Wars. So, we're just kidding. Bakertown. Just bought a Revenge of the Ninja on DVD. Should be here tomorrow. Well, it looks like your day is pretty bright then. Man, I'm super excited. There's a lot of stuff that's exciting. There was a Moon Knight kind of behind the scenes trailer that came out. That was super exciting. Watch that, and my anticipation is through the roof on that show.
It looks really good, eh?
It really does. And just hearing him talk about it is just like, whoa, man, this is going to be good. I'm really lucky because I don't know a lot about Moon Knight. I know Khonshu is the god that gave him powers and brought him back, but I never read Moon Knight. And so this is like, it's exciting to have a character that I don't know a ton about that is like, it's like we see all these characters and we're like, oh, they're doing another this or another that, or we've seen animated versions of these people. I've never watched any Moon Knight. So for me, this is like they invented a whole new character, even though he's been around for 100,000 years.
I like the look of Mr. Knight in the white suit.
Yeah,
I think that is like spot on.
He looks super cool from all the pictures and stuff that I've seen. So that's exciting. I also like that the main character he's got multiple personalities even in his super forms. You know what I mean? That's even cool.
I'm a bit worried about the whole like Indiana Jones kind of stuff. I mean, well, more like the Mummy, but as long as they keep it, as long as there's a good balance and it doesn't get too like Tom Cruise's The Mummy, then we should be okay.
Right.
And it's a series too, right? So they have more time to expand on that stuff.
Well, that's from what from my, I got to go do my homework on this show because I don't know shit about Moon Knight. So like from what my understanding is that they found a statue, of Khonshu, and he died in front of it, sacrificing himself for an archaeologist or something. And so I mean that seems in keeping with the story. Like they were in a like some kind of ancient tomb or something, and when that happened, when he got his powers. So I mean that's cool. I don't think they're going to spend too much time on that. I think that's probably just part of the origin story for people. I think
so, yeah.
You know
what I mean? Started reading the 2021 new Moon Knight series, I believe, or maybe it came out this year. I can't remember. And he was basically protecting his neighborhood and just being a protector of the neighborhood and taking on being like a superhero private detective. But he was like fighting a lot of vampires and stuff, so we might see some vampires in that. And cool. That's like it's gonna tie into Werewolf by Night and Blade. Blade is supposed to pop up in there, and same as Luke Cage. There's again, every Marvel movie gets a bunch of cameos discussed and rumored. What's up, Sean?
I like how they all bridge over into other stuff because of all of a sudden they get to bridge this over into Blade and like Werewolf by Night, like you said, and other stuff. That's super cool. Because I grew up with like X-Men and X Factor and Spider-Man and all these characters, Iron Man, and I don't know anything about Moon Knight or any of these other I call them B-teamers. You know what I mean? And a lot of them are street level. Too, in comparison when you put them up against Iron Man and things like that. So it's exciting. I love new content, and this is new. It's not a rehashing, a reboot of a character that I already know. Not that I don't enjoy those, but this is cool.
Yeah, and it's Oscar Isaac as well. So
yeah,
he's gonna be great in it. Although, like, I'm not sold on his accent yet, but we'll have to get next week. We'll have to get Edward, the resident accent expert, in here and see what he says.
Yeah, it's please, sir, can I have some more? There is no more. Yeah, he's like I kind of noticed that accent too. It kind of stuck out, but I'm wondering if it's just so extreme because his other personality is going to have a completely contrast thing. So I imagine if you're playing multiple characters, you'd want to be as extreme as possible so they sound completely different. I think maybe they had him get coached by Tatiana Maslany or something, since she does, she can do 15 characters in one series. Which by the way, what if they were both going into multiple characters and scenes together, She-Hulk and Moon Knight? Yeah. Did I lose your volume? Yeah, you're talking, but we can't hear you, bud. Lost you, homie. Maybe I lost my audio.
Oh no, I forgot to unmute it.
Okay, I was like, maybe I
Problems
don't.
with the mute button on top of your mic.
Ah,
that looks really good. That Mr. Knight, I think.
Reese 75 says he sounds more African than English. He sounds like he wants more porridge. Is what he sounds like to me. Give me some of that Egyptian porridge. I'm ready for it. Yeah, man.
Egyptian porridge, eh? Am I gonna
Yeah.
make that a thing now?
I guess, is that a new meme? Egyptian porridge time.
Did you
But,
see Henry Cavill's haircut in Argyle?
I didn't. Is Argyle actually out yet?
No,
Because I thought it was just photos and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
just-
I didn't see it. What
There
the
it is.
hell? That's that's something, man.
That's right out of Cocainium Red Heat.
Cocainum.
Dude, and his neck is so thick, like just because he's so buff. I think if you gave him some highlights, he could be Dude from Free Guy, the dude at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny. He also
man.
looks a little bit like Bill Paxton.
A little, yeah. A
You know?
little. I think that's just maybe the expression, but that hair, man. I mean, I used to have hair like that. So I can relate.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Like last week.
It's gonna be like, what do you think it's gonna be like his Bond franchise?
I think so. Like, that's what's exciting. Is whether or not he gets his 007 role. He's got his 007 role. He's just, you know what I mean? He's doing the spy show. I honestly don't think he's anywhere close to getting the Bond role, and that's probably why he went for this. He's like, you know what? I'm going to play spy whether they want me or not. I'm Henry Cavill. Like, do what I want.
I think Michael Fassbender needs to get a Bond role, to be honest with you.
Dude, Fassbender, like, he's one of the people that I'm like, dude, I'll watch that guy do lawn work. He's badass, and I sure hope I see him in the in Doctor Strange too. I really want to see him.
That would be great.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah, I looked at that trailer again, and it does look like Blade walking through that room in the Illuminati. Like there's a sword on his back and everything. So whether it's Ali or it's Snipes, well, it's to be determined. We'll see. But
maybe we'll see them both.
Yes. Just want to say thanks to Johan for reminding me about this picture. I almost forgot before the stream, and then he commented, and I had to whip it up fast.
Yeah, dude, that's something right there. You know, this guy, he's in so many projects. This guy's like the busiest dude in Hollywood. You know, it's like, and it's funny because he's a nerd. And it's all projects that if we were him, we would want to be involved with. You know, it's all video games and cool. Like, hey, I think I'm going to do an awesome fantasy show. And like, cool, I got The Witcher. Hey, I think I want to be Superman. He's got that. It's like every project he does, I was like, man, if I was an actor, that's exactly the roles that I would be taking. So that makes me think he's probably got a pretty happy life. He seems like he just seems like a likable, nice guy. And I like how he interacts with his fans and stuff. I'm a big fan of Henry Cavill.
He loves building his gaming rigs too. So and I'm surprised he didn't try. I wonder if he tried to get a role in World of Warcraft or not, since he loves playing it so much. Yeah, Duncan Jones, World of Warcraft, which I never saw, by the way.
It'd be funny if he did want to, you know how actors are like, I don't even need to be seen. I just want to be a stormtrooper. You know what I mean? Like, can you just put me in the background or somewhere?
Right.
But I'll do it for free. But what a waste if you have Henry Cavill in your movie and you're not featuring him at all. You know, huge waste.
Agreed.
Yeah, man.
Now,
Well, are you ready to talk a little bit about Obi-Wan?
Yeah, go nuts, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't have a ton to say about it except that, like, the music. Are you kidding? Duel of the Fates. As soon as that, as soon as that kicked in, nerd boners across the world, like everyone just said, "What? Oh, is this what you're doing? Okay, I see it now." And then you start watching, and there's footage. If you guys in the chat haven't seen the latest the Obi-Wan trailer, it's ridiculous, man. Also, like, there's a scene of a body hanging. You don't really fully see it, but it looks like they put somebody up on display. I don't know how you don't see what's going on, but I'm like, wow, that's a little bit dark for Disney as far as I'm concerned, you know? And that kind of made me think, dude, this vibe in this show is making Book of Boba Fett look like Mayberry. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's
Again, though, it's just a teaser, right?
it is just a
Trailer,
teaser,
so
but like, dude, that made that feel like bubblegum kitty stuff.
well,
Like
yeah.
that's like Book of Boba Fett's ages 3 to 12, and this is like ages like 13 and up. You know what I mean?
I don't think we're gonna see a Vespa gang in Obi-Wan.
No, and
But man, when Duel of the Fates came on, like my heart just swelled because I used to crank that. I was living in Toronto and just crank that and play some video games or do some art, and that song is so powerful. Like John Williams killed it, and the fact that they chose that song just to introduce the trailer that people have been demanding for a long time, and the series that people have been demanding for a long time. Yeah, and Ewan McGregor looks great.
oh, it looks
But
awesome.
I'm just wondering if like every episode is just him gonna be poking around his head around a post and just watching Luke. That'll be it, you know.
That's the
Just call
show.
it the stalkering of Luke Skywalker.
It's just gonna be him looking around and be like,
Hello there.
hello there. Yeah, it's I don't know what's gonna. Well, dude, if
I
you
hope
watch
he
the
says that line, man. I hope he
hello
says that
there,
line because I'm
you
just gonna point at the screen, and be like, he said it. He said the line. He said the thing. He's got to say it. He has to say it.
uh yeah, there's the other stuff too. It's like there's been some leaks that we talked about last week, and I'm watching this trailer and I'm putting the leak together with this, and I'm wondering how accurate it's going to be. You know what I mean? Like from the leak what we talked about, like there was a Jedi ex-pupil that comes and tries to find him. He stays standoffish because he doesn't want to blow his cover, and he's hiding. And you got the Grand Inquisitor who's crazy popped into this preview, and you see a body hanging. And from what they made it sound like, it was like, hey, this guy tried to get his help, wants to bring back the Jedis, and then all of a sudden you see a body hang. I'm wondering if all of a sudden he doesn't help, he stays quiet, he's on a mission, he's undercover, which we've seen him do that in the animated series. He completely changed his physical appearance and turned into another person to go undercover. We know old Alec Guinness Obi-Wan, who's just the old guy that we know lived in the desert, and we've seen like apprentice Obi-Wan who's like under Qui-Gon Jinn, and we've seen him kind of grow a little past that and stuff. But there's like a whole bunch of Obi-Wan where he's like basically a super agent, a super spy agent who goes on missions. And I'm talking to the guys at home, not you, James, because I know you know this, but like he's
I'm disagreeing with you.
oh yeah, I'm just saying. But
I'm waiting to hit that applause clip for you.
Woo! No, but
Wait, can I ask you? Sorry, but like, do you think Darth Maul's gonna show up?
It's very possible. And I was about to get into that, but all I wanted to say about Obi-Wan is that he's used to being on a mission. You don't break the mission. And he's on a mission right now, protecting Luke and Leia. And all of a sudden, somebody shows up. If this prediction's right, I'm trying to put it all together. And like he wouldn't. He's like, I can't help you right now. I'm doing something. But then if they kill this guy, or guy or girl, I don't remember if it was a male or female, then and hang him on display for everyone to see, that might shake him out of the woodwork. And they made it look like he had to go off planet and do other stuff. It's just a lot of exciting things that makes me think like this is going to have an interesting story. And the Grand Inquisitor showing up, and possibly Darth Maul. Like, is that a it's a good point, James. Is that a hint? Like, hey, like
Right.
that song is a bridge from the past, and it's connected to Obi-Wan, but it's also connected to Darth
Liam
Maul.
Neeson.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson.
He could show up. He could show up easily.
He's supposed to show up, from what I understand, from what rumors that I've heard, and also, he's Yoda said that, hey, Qui-Gon basically made himself immortal. He learned how to communicate from the other side, basically, and so we may have him communing with Obi-Wan. That might be who he's talking about when he says we lost this battle. He might be talking to Obi-Wan. He sounds really distraught. He might be talking to the Jedi who supposedly comes out to find him. I mean, there's so many possible.
Yeah, but that thing you were talking to me about, you were just saying about the person hanging there. That speculation reminds me of when the Mandalorian trailer came out, and we
Mhm.
saw the clone troopers' heads on pikes, and everyone's like, "Oh, what does this mean? Oh, it's got to be a big part of the story." But it was just like a throwaway shot to set the mood, you know.
Yeah.
So it could, because they're great with misdirection. Sam Witwer apparently teased Maul.
Yeah, there's also some people talking about somebody's head in there that looks like from behind looks a lot like Tamara Morrison, like wondering like if we're going to see some clone troopers in this that he's playing, which would be pretty cool. Maybe we see Rex. Rex is a big deal in Clone Wars. If we see live action Rex in this, that would be super cool. I mean, it's exciting to be a Star Wars fan right now, because we got Mayberry with the with Book of Boba Fett, and I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I'm me, I don't like to shit on anything, but like I enjoyed it. But that's some like Disney Channel. I was trying to Nickelodeon-esque like kiddie show compared to like this has more of a cinematic movie feel and not a TV show.
So far, yeah.
So far, so far, we'll see.
Right.
I'm sure the if they don't dust up the costumes and stuff
Thank you.
enough, yeah.
Thank you. I was gonna say that, but
Yeah.
you got it. I
But
appreciate it.
but like just from this trailer, I'm just going off the first impression of this trailer. It's getting me excited. Like it just has a more of a movie cinematic feel, and that's what I want my stuff to feel like. I don't want it to feel like it's a TV set. I want it to feel like a movie set. So
Yeah, you don't want things to look like plastic, and like you
Exactly.
can tell they're on a soundstage. So I mean,
Yeah,
they
like-
did brilliant work with The Mandalorian on that 3D set, so they should be able to do the same thing with Obi-Wan. So, yeah.
Yeah, and just I don't know, put some more filters on it, or I don't know. Maybe it's just a taste thing as far as who's directing and whatnot. But you'd think somebody would be around to not let that happen, because it's like the difference between you watch The Mandalorian and you watch like Star Trek Discovery. You know what I mean? Like you have a certain look with the aliens and the stuff where it looks like plastic, and it's okay because you've come to expect that, and you can use your imagination to see past that. But when you're dealing with like Star Wars stuff, a lot until now, like you have this cinematic feel that you expect, and it's not
Christmas
supposed
special.
to. It's not supposed to look cheap like some of the Book of Boba Fett stuff did. So
Yeah, or the Christmas special.
or the Christmas special, exactly. Sorry, I didn't mean to go rant so long, but there's just a lot to unpack with that trailer, even though it was a short thing. And there's a lot of people. How did you feel about the Grand Inquisitor's eyes? There's a lot of people complaining about the eyes because they glow. You're supposed to glow yellow, and his are black, and so people are like, "Dude, that looks like Pinhead."
It's a trailer, man. It's a trailer. Like I won't start complaining until the first episode, and then even then I'll be like, okay, I'll give it 3 episodes. Like I did with Book of Boba Fett.
Do you think they'll go in After Effects and fix his eyes? That they're gonna glow?
But I think there'll be times where his eyes will glow. It's just not in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a deal breaker for some people. I'm like, really, guys? Like he looks pretty dope. Like he looks cool, I think. And the actor, the cast is just ridiculous.
Well, that's why we can't have nice things anymore.
I know people are going to complain about it, and people get on social media and they cry extra loud.
I mean, I'll complain about costumes not being dirty after a big fight in the desert, but I mean, I think that's just it takes you out of the immersion.
Yeah.
As far as the Grand Inquisitor, I couldn't remember if he had glowing eyes or not because I've never watched Clone Wars or Rebels or anything, but I have read him in the comics and Darth Vader and Star Wars and Dr. Aphra and yeah, so it is what it is, man. I mean, honestly, like he's gonna have glowing eyes or he's not gonna have glowing eyes. It shouldn't be a deal breaker, but we will see. We will see.
Yeah, people
I'm kind of annoyed at fandoms right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
so that's I don't know if you can tell from my attitude. It's just I think we should just enjoy what we get, and you can have constructive criticism, but I don't think we should be so emotionally attached to these. I mean, yeah, with Book of Boba Fett, I was let down, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm so mad at Robert Rodriguez. How would he do, and like I'm mad at Disney and Star Wars for. I mean, it's a series, and there was some good stuff and there was some bad stuff, but it's not the end of the day. It's not a deal breaker for me.
People
I'll
get
still
mad
watch
about it.
it, and
People are like, I want answers.
yeah.
I want justice. Like they get fired up, and I'm like, dude, just don't watch the show.
My question though is, so with the Book of Boba Fett, I was expecting like kind of like a Princess Bride tale. Like there was no book. So why is it called the Book of Boba Fett?
Edward is said he appreciated my theory on that. I feel like it's like the Book of Job, and the Book of Job, Book of Job in the Bible. Job has everything taken away from him, is stripped down, and then he has to climb out of it, and it's to test him to see if he's going to end up.
So it's a metaphor.
It's supposed to test him to see if he comes back a good guy or not. And
if you're gonna name something the Book of Boba Fett, what you got to do is you got to hit me over the head with it and say, here's a book and it says Boba Fett on it. That's what I want.
Make it a cop show. They're throwing the book at him.
Reading Rainbow. That's what it could be.
Yeah.
So you want to move on to Picard season 2, episode 2?
We can do that. I was about to make a cop show to we need to save that for later. So we'll throw the book at somebody else later on in the stream. Picard season 2 has been exciting. I messaged you and was like, dude, this is I like this now. I'm starting to like this.
Yeah, I got your message, but do you remember I'm like this on my phone. I'm not reading your message. I'm just typing, say, hey, I got your message, Alex. I was Picard. I'll read it after I watch the series or the episode. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. Like I finally they're going on an adventure in this now. Like the things are starting to actually happen instead of like, hey, let's stand around and act like Star Trek characters. I'm going to be this Star Trek character. I'm this Star Trek character. No, there's actually a story, actually something happening finally. And I liked that. And it was cool. It almost pulled me back to like old school Next Generation scenarios, which is, you know what I mean? Which is like what was exciting about the Q episodes in Star Trek before, you know what I mean? So I'm like, you only got a little taste of him, in it, but like I said, I'm enjoying it now, and all of a sudden, like you said, dude, what a cliffhanger! So it's like I can't wait to see next week. Like I'm ready for next week. I want to see what happened. There's stuff going on, and that's what was interesting about Star Trek. There would be weird, random things that all of a sudden there's a whole nother flavor for the show happening right now, and they're in this scenario. And I feel like maybe they tried to do that when they made Picard speak in a French accent in the first season, and like they're go undercover, but this one's actually going somewhere. And I think despite like also there's some times where Picard had to act like a serious mean general.
But before you get into that,
I was just gonna say that those moments he didn't seem like a broken elderly man.
Yeah,
he was back to Picard, or at least back to Patrick Stewart 5-10 years ago. Go ahead.
So I was thinking, with disguising as a Frenchman in the bar in season 1. I was thinking that was their way to do a callback to the holodeck episodes where he plays Dixon, right? And that, to me, if you look at it in that light, it makes sense, But yeah, to get to what you were saying, and this latest episode, we got glimpses of actual Captain Picard in this episode, not the frail old man. We actually have glimpses of him commanding, and not just commanding on the bridge, being like, oh, hey, yeah, oh my gosh, this is fun. Oh, look out, lasers are coming, and he's just like sitting there like this, and then he does a smirk every now and then. But no, we got glimpses of command when he was pretending to be the bad general, or it's General Picard, I think it was. So that was nice, and I hope that can carry on. I hope there's like a reemergence of Command Picard, because I think that's what we're kind of all waiting for. We were waiting for that in season 1, because even in the last episode of Next Generation, All Good Things Come to an End, he was kind of like lost, and he did play a frail old man in most of it, but there was still a lot of command performances.
Mhm.
And I think this is what it's really missing. For me anyways, is what it's really missing is I want the command Picard back. I want to see him take charge of something instead of just goes from point A to point B, point C. Speaking of which, don't you think that they decided to travel back in time with the Borg Queen super fast?
Do I think they made that choice really quick? I think they didn't have a
Yeah.
lot of choices. They just kind of
When the Borg Queen started to go back for execution and they're like, where's she going? Oh, we'll have to save her. I was like, they're gonna go get Data, you know? They go get Data, and he could do the calculations, and if he's evil Data, if he exists in this timeline,
Mhm.
if he's evil Data, then they could reprogram him. I mean, it's time travel, so they do have time. And she's the president, so she could have just said something like, hey, we're going on a secret mission and we're gonna be off grid for a week. This is the Confederation needs us to do this, the fate of the Confederation. Or they could have, like, Geordie LaForge. I did like the nod to General Cisco. That was cool. I wish we did get to see Avery Brooks. Um,
I think if they'd have done that, though, it would have overridden the entire theme of what this probably season is going to be about, at least the next couple episodes, with like it's about the Borg and them working
oh,
together.
I
That's the
completely get why they did it. I just think
yeah.
that
I mean, they could have gotten Data. They could have found a random other genius or cyborg, or they could have typed the coordinates into a supercomputer, or they could have like that. But they had a.
But
I like the idea of
they just decided so fast. Like, they
yep,
met up for 10 minutes. They're like, okay, we need to go back in time to save the future, And they're like, we're going to take the Borg Queen with us. They didn't
yeah.
talk, okay, we need to make sure that she's secure. How are we going to do this? Is the ship capable? I mean, Christo just appeared in this timeline on this new ship. They don't even know what the ship is capable of, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's an exact copy, and it just happened to survive throughout the time ages because they changed stuff in 2024. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just thinking that, like, they moved that really fast to move the plot along, maybe so the audience doesn't think about it that much. But I don't think when the Borg Queen got taken away to go get executed, they set themselves up for a plot hole there, because they could have come up with other solutions. And I get it, the parallels with Locutus and the Borg Queen. And it's great to see her back, by the way. Yeah,
They needed
it was really fast. It happened really fast. They spent all that time in the first episode getting us familiar with what's happened since the end of season 1, and then all of a sudden in episode 2, it's like, boom, okay, this is happening. Go, 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 go. We got to go back in time. What about the ramifications?
gotta go back in time.
And Q, like, why doesn't, and when he was talking to them about Q, he called him like an entity or whatever that's meddled with his stuff in the past. He could have just said the 7, it's Q, and she would have, like, oh damn it, Q. We dealt with him on Voyager, Janeway, and he loved Janeway for the longest time, but he just ignored the fact that 7 is those kind of character moments that are missing because they don't do their homework, I guess, or don't know the series inside and out. And I think that's what happened in Discovery as well.
Yeah.
And Rant.
Hold on. You said end rant? See if this works. Can you hear that? No?
Nope.
Oh, never mind. I was trying to do an applause thing for you to end your rant. Awesome. Yeah, man. I mean, I get all of what you just said. I think they just knew where they're going with the story, and they're like, cool, let's just glaze over this stuff real quick and cut to the chase. Let's get to the part where the Borg and Picard and everybody's working together, and this extreme discomfort of anybody that's been part of the Borg, and all of a sudden you know how serious this is and how dangerous this is. Like, wait, we're gonna integrate the Borg Queen with the ship? Yeah. Like, you're in trouble, dude. Like, that's asking for it. So I don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's crazy. They're doing some that creates tension, like those things.
If they're done properly. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, these are all people that have been trained in like Starfleet Command and have years and years of field experience and exploration and science experience dealing with warp travel, time travel, alternate timelines, parallel universes, bad universes where people wear beards, that kind of thing. So you think they would just take a little moment to recognize the ramifications of what they're doing. It's not, and yeah, I guess they were trying to represent the urgency with the whole eradication day and everything, and being found out. But I mean, they waited till they were on stage, and then they just stood there. Picard was just pointing the gun for like 10 minutes. Everyone's like, what's going on?
Building
They
suspense,
had a lot of
man.
time.
Yeah, they were building suspense. You're like,
I know. But they had a lot of time to figure out the ramifications. I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a good episode. There's just a few things that I would change, or would want to see changed, or maybe addressed in future episodes. But it's off to a good start. It made me feel a lot better than watching the first episode.
Yeah, and it reminds me of old TV. Like, dude, you watch those older TV shows. They do have a lot of loopholes, man. Or a lot of, there's a lot of things you could poke holes through all those old shows. It's just back then back then we just said, oh yeah, that's just how it is. But when you talk about it later or think about it, you'd be like, oh, they could have done this, they could have done this, they could have done this. It's like, whatever,
yeah,
man.
I give like a suspension of disbelief if I'm enjoying it. Like
Yeah.
J.J. Abrams' Star Trek was all fast-paced, moving, quick decisions. I'm like, okay, that's the type of film it is. I'm gonna enjoy this. But
I feel like the more time that passes by and the more movies and TV shows and stuff, as things develop, they're trimming all that fat away to where now when something pops up like that, we're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But if you like, that wouldn't happen because blah, 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 you know what I mean? And I think they've gotten so tidy with filmmaking over the years that like, I think we've become spoiled. Like if we go back and look at the old stuff, it wasn't that tidy.
no, I mean, you could rewatch Next Generation, and yeah, you'll find plot holes, but the character motivations and the thoughtfulness of that's the whole thing about Star Trek is the ramifications for the actions on other people in the universe.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're going back in time with the Borg Queen, man. They already did this in First Contact and had to destroy them because they're going to take, what's going to happen if she gets off that ship, right? And then they're going to assimilate. Yeah, they're going to assimilate the friggin' Earth in 2024. Don't you think that warranted 30 seconds of discussion?
Absolutely, they should have at least brought it up. Absolutely,
that's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying like
that's all they had to do was say, well, what happens? Or just say, hey, I'll go along with this plan, but we need to be careful because one wrong move and the human race is done. Just mention it,
right?
Like that's all they needed to do.
Or what preventive measures can we do to make sure that she's safe and she's not going to be a threat to the human race, right? I mean, they could have had that discussion when they got beamed up to the ship and she's plugging it in, but instead of like, no, okay, I'll go with it because we got to move now,
We implanted a chip in her head, and if she doesn't play along, we'll blow her head up, suicide style. Yeah, man.
Waller is down on her.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I hope that the rest of these episodes are this fun. You know what I mean? Like, because
Sub Krypton. Yeah, me too.
I'm not even saying this is like a 10 of an episode. I just said, yeah, it's a pretty good episode. Like, this is worth me like looking at my watch, saying, what time is it? What day of the week is it? Because I want to see what the next episode is.
Exactly.
I a lot of Star Trek stuff in the last few years hasn't given me that feeling to where I'm like, whatever, I need to watch something while I'm falling asleep. I don't really care if I fall asleep or not. you know, where if there's a Mandalorian episode, you're damn right I'm going to drink some coffee and make sure I don't fall asleep. I want to see this thing. But
Yeah.
Star Trek material has not been that way for a little while, and this,
No,
you know what I'm saying? And this was fun enough to make me want to tune in next week. So that's a good thing.
yeah, this episode I wasn't checking the time to see how much there was longer left to watch it, you know, so I could go to sleep, right? Or get back to work. But the first episode I was. So I don't know. I enjoyed it. I wish
you don't sleep. Who are you kidding, James? Come on.
Yeah.
The busiest man on the internet right here.
I don't know. I think Elon Musk would differ, or Bill Gates, or whoever else.
Hey,
the
dude,
CEO of Google.
I don't sleep either. Sleep is for suckers.
Edward. I could name about 1 billion people busier than me, to be honest with you. I just make it look good. It's all Mac.
I don't even do anything. I just look good. That's, you know. What we got? We got a bunch of friendly people in the chat here. We got Bakertown saying hi to Dan Plum. We got Krypton's Core. It was an awesome. It was awesome. Picard is awesome. Yes, Picard is awesome.
He is.
Yes, he's a great character.
So Plum will be joining us. I think I'm gonna actually. James sleeps less than The Rock. Well, I gotta. You know what? It's Arnold Schwarzenegger always said that if you're sleeping more than 6 hours a day, you should learn to sleep faster. You only need 6 hours sleep a day. So, and I try and give Arnie a run for his money. And you know,
you're a funny guy, Sally.
I prefer 7, but 6 is pretty normal for me. Anything
I
less
love
than 6,
7, 8 hours
yeah.
sleep.
7 is 8 is really too much. 8 is like I have to do something that I don't really want to do, and so I just sleep longer to avoid it. You know what I mean? That's what 8 is like. If I'm excited because I have things to do, 7 is perfect. 6 works.
I used to be able to like sleep like 16 hours after working like 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of barely any sleep, I just crashed for 16 hours, and I kind of missed that. You know, I kind of miss that now. My body goes through these stages where it's like I'll get usually 6 to 7 hours at some points, but most of the time I'll wake up after like 3 or 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. And I'm like, oh, my brain's going. I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You know, so many things on the go.
If I'm doing something like you know, like you edit a lot of video and stuff, and if I'm working on projects like that, or like when I'm mixing a record or something, like I can't sleep a lot because I start thinking about it, and I wake up and I just have to run and jump on and start messing with the project. I'm like, what if I did this? And it controls me until I'm done with the project. So it takes over.
No, it's exactly what that is. And it's, you know, it's when you wake up and you're like, okay, I got this to do. And it's not like, oh, I got this to do. It's like, oh, I got this. Okay, this will be cool. This will be fun. I want to get this done. Work on this, you know. If I get this done and out of the way by 2 p.m., then I can like relax for 2-3 hours, play some Death Road to Canada, and just relax, you know, and then have a nap. So
yeah, relax. What's that? Relax.
I'm always relaxed. Hey, didn't you like the new countdown music?
It was real cool. I didn't get to say anything about that. Yeah, the new
and you still don't. Yeah, I want to switch that up for a while.
That you got to do that for like late night streams, because that's like slow jams. Like, yeah, late night.
I'm always in late night mode, man.
Yeah, small screen nights.
Welcome, viewers.
Sweet love.
Welcome to WKRP Small Screen. Welcome to the Love Channel, where we're going to be talking about the Batman and the Batfleck Batman crossover movie coming to you in 2027.
All night.
I see we got Raj and Plum waiting back.
Are they hanging in? Are they hanging back in the shadows?
Yeah. What's up, Geek Studios? And
well, real quick before we get to the one topic that I don't think needs much.
I just sent them the links. We're in no rush, and I think I'm gonna I'll probably open up the show to just anyone who wants to join and send the link out towards the end too. And see how that goes. Try something new.
I was gonna say, what do you think of that Judge Dredd news of a new Judge Dredd movie?
Oh man, I am pumped. If it comes on streaming, I'm gonna be very, very happy. I think Carl Urban really needs to come back as Dredd. I'm
Yeah.
super pumped about that.
The last one was great. I thought I was annoyed when Dredd with Carl Urban showed up in the first place. I was like, what is this crap? Another old IP. They're just milking it. They're just doing this. I'm getting
You
I'm
being
getting
negative about something?
yeah, I was well, I get sick
Wow.
of sometimes it's like, hey, we're going to redo Total Recall. Like you don't need to redo Total Recall. You don't need to redo Judge Dredd. You don't
Total
need to,
Recall was BS. They do
yeah.
need to redo Judge Dredd because
Yeah, they,
say what you will about the Stallone one, it didn't do the comics justice or the character.
we're going to redo RoboCop. You don't need to redo
You didn't need to
RoboCop.
do that,
You don't
no.
need to redo Time Cop. You don't need to redo, like there's a million things that they don't need to redo. You need to write some new material. That's how I feel. Like like you don't need to go to my childhood and take the thing. We're going to redo E.T. I'll kill you. Like you don't need to redo E.T. Like that doesn't need to happen. Like and but they, whoever they are, like to do that kind of stuff. And so Judge Dredd was one of those things, but it actually turned out cool. Like, and I was really surprised. I was like, dude, this turned out cool. And the idea of them doing another one, honestly, I could go either way. I would hope that they don't come back and screw it up. Maybe they won't. I'm strangely sensitive and protective of my old stuff from when I was a kid. Is that
Right.
weird?
No, it's not, and that's the problem with studios right now because, unfortunately, like IPs and sequels and existing properties are such a risk-free. They've got a built-in fan base, right? So it's easier to get financing for that movie and justify the cost of it. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Danzig,
We're-
more Dredd, man.
We're gonna redo The Last Starfighter. Well, I hope you get diarrhea in traffic because you don't do that. Leave my shows alone. Like my old movies, leave them alone.
Right. I'm gonna bring Plum in for a minute. I gotta skip out for 1 minute.
Sure, man. We're gonna redo Labyrinth. No, you're not. Leave Labyrinth alone. We're gonna redo the Dark Crystal. No, leave it alone. I could go all day.
They did. I didn't see the Dark Crystal sequel, but
Yeah, it was good. But I mean, you're still dealing with Jim Henson Studios. They did it right, you know.
yeah.
So I
That's
don't
what I
mind a
think
continuation. I don't want reboots of the old stuff and like screwing it up.
Right. That's why I think if they did a Dread series or a movie on streaming, then they should definitely get Carl Urban back because he was perfect for that role. It's just a shame that it came out at the same time as The Raid and had a similar premise. You
Mhm.
know, cops locked in a apartment building, a tower building. So, but I mean, some of the filmmaking techniques they used in that was amazing. Okay, I'll be right back.
Cool. We're getting Mr. Plum.
Hi, everybody.
What's happening, man? How you doing,
Oh,
man?
man. I've just been so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking care of my little one.
All right.
Yeah.
The other man who never sleeps.
Unfortunately, I require more sleep than James.
No, that's fortunate. That's like it feels good. Recently, I got some like today actually. I woke up when I felt like it. I didn't have anything woke me up. I just opened my eyes. So I was like, and like this is how people are supposed to live. I feel like I didn't oversleep. I just slept till my batteries were recharged. I think that's cool. So you're just chilling, huh?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just said, you're just chilling. Go ahead. I'm not talking about much of anything.
No, I was just laughing about how sensitive you were getting about the whole reboot thing. Things have been like rebooted since I was a kid. Like that's when everything started. When I was a teenager, they were already rebooting just about everything. So
Yeah, it's like
the only thing they won't reboot is reboot the show.
The show?
Yeah. There's this animated series that was awesome. It was so good, and it was about NPCs and hero characters from video games living inside of a digital space, and like they had to fight this bad guy character, kind of a like easy bad guy character, just like looming and being evil and shit.
It sounds awesome.
But man, when I tell you it had like basically all of Canada by the balls, it had fucking all of Canada by the balls. Every kid watched Reboot.
That sounds awesome. It sounds like I don't even know. It sounds like a Free Guy or something.
Reboot was great. It was friggin'
see?
hilarious. Hold on, I'll pull something up for it. One sec.
Well, yeah, James, I was
Continue
just telling
talking.
Clint I was just telling Clint that basically Reboot is the only thing that they didn't reboot from our childhood.
Danzig said, "I'm sure they were rebooting The Last Starfighter." I'm like, "Yeah, they called it the Atom Project. It's on Netflix right now." I just actually Bakertown and I are going to be doing a kind of
Is
a
that
semi.
what that is?
It's not.
Yeah,
That. It's not what it is. It's
I'm
not.
going,
It
I'm
just,
going
okay.
in blind tonight. I'm going in blind.
it
tonight.
just looks like it from the trailer, but it's actually pretty good. But me and Bakertown will be talking about that later on my stream later tonight. But that we're gonna be doing that and Free Guy. So Ryan Reynolds versus Ryan Reynolds. So that'll be fun.
I
But
saw
yeah,
a promo photo with Ryan Reynolds with a double-sided lightsaber. So I'm wondering how they're gonna
in
in Adam or whatever.
oh, that's
That Adam movie.
hilarious.
So I wonder how they're gonna play that in.
Well, it's a
Yeah, that's a
reboot. How long ago was this show?
Mid-90s.
Okay.
Yeah, early to mid-90s.
Remember that guy, Plum?
Yeah, that was the main bad guy.
Yeah.
He's the big baddie. What I forget what he was trying to achieve as the bad guy. I think he was just trying to take over the quote civilian space of the Reboot universe, which is really some kid's computer. That's where everything takes place. It's
Did you Blues House? Nice to see you here. Did you hate the reboot of Reboot, or did you hate Reboot, the original Reboot? Let us know which reboot you hated, the original reboot, or the reboot of Reboot. Let us know. And yeah, Bobby, they've been making remakes of a lot for decades now. They did that with a lot of the film noir movies. The Maltese Falcon wasn't even the original movie out there of that. So good call.
The Swamp
Thing.
Border.
Good to see you again. The
Manchurian Candidate.
Swamp Thing was a big one from my childhood. Like I remember when that movie was fantastic. Time Bandits. Remember that one? That was a fantastic movie.
That rings a bell. I just haven't seen it. I don't think.
There was a movie called The Pirate Movie that was fantastic. That was kind of like the Pirates of Penzance, but a modernized version of it.
Wait, you're not talking about the adult film, are you?
No. Are you talking about Exit to Eden?
Keep it clean, Plum. Keep it clean.
Exit to Eden.
I kept it clean.
With Dan Aykroyd.
Yes.
Remember that one?
Dan Aykroyd in an adult film. That's something I gotta see.
With Rosie O'Donnell. It was Rosie O'Donnell and him, and they're wearing like latex. It's gross.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gross.
Great. That's an image I'm gonna have to work hard to get out of my head.
I mean, you could just look at the movie poster and be like, I don't want to see that. No. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Rosie O'Donnell in latex. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I think Curtis said that the actress from Tombstone who plays like Kurt Russell's actress girlfriend in the I think she's in it too, which may be the only one that you want to see. So confession time. I've never seen
Tombstone.
Oh, you gotta do that. You got to get on that, man. That's from 40-Year-Old Virgin. So Danzig is confessing that he's never seen The Last Starfighter.
Oh man, that's something you should watch like right now.
I saw that one in the theater. It's what we call an oldie but goodie.
Yeah.
So we got Blues House saying They hated both the reboot and the original reboot. This is during the horrible CGI days of Saturday morning cartoons. Yes, I know, but it had its charm. It did have its charm.
There was a few shows
and
that
you
used
know,
the art style correctly, and Reboot I
Yeah.
find was one of them.
And to be honest with you, with reboot, like the story wasn't that bad, and you could look past the really bad CGI. At the same time, it was something new to watch, in as far as like that style of animation. I mean, I prefer to watch that over like with Transformers, Dinobots, or whatever it was.
Beast
Beast Wars.
Beast
That's
Wars?
what it was. Yeah.
Hey, you guys are from Canada. Did y'all did they have the Time Warp Trio up there? Did you ever watch that cartoon?
No.
No,
Just checking.
I don't believe so.
Time Warp Trio is like a group of kids that had a magic book, and they could travel through time in this magic book. But I went to Canada and recorded the theme song, and like years and years ago, and so it would come on every Saturday morning. So I got to do a theme song for a Saturday morning cartoon. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's sick.
I think it's probably after y'all's time, probably. I just
before.
got thinking y'all are talking about Canadian cartoons. I was like, dude, maybe they'd seen it. But Reboot, I never even heard of that. That looks fun though. Now I'm gonna start go down a rabbit hole watching Canadian cartoons.
Honestly, I can't think of any other like Canada only cartoons though, because the rest of what I used to watch was like the Godzilla animated series from back in the day, and the Mighty Ducks, the animated show, which was sick.
A lot of Saturday morning cartoons were made in Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's
like
true.
The Beetlejuice cartoon, Gummy Bears.
Oh yeah, dude. When I was a little kid, they had a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Yeah,
that was
Yes.
cool.
Remember that?
Yeah,
I did see that.
I mean, this is like I'm talking like 1983, dude, like old school.
Yeah, I saw it when I was in college. I'm not saying I saw it when I was a kid.
I saw it first time around, and Pole Position was another cool one that was out at that time.
Oh,
and then of course the Mr. T Saturday morning cartoon is pretty great.
I used to have that poster in my room. Yeah, the cartoon Mr. T. Raj, you never got the ending to Reboot? Oh man, you've got to find it. There's gotta. I'll try and find it for you. It's got to be on YouTube or something. And yes, that Gummy Bears theme song is iconic. And same with Inspector Gadget. And I would have to, if Inspector Gadget came on before I went to school, I would have to either mute it or change the channel, because if I had that song stuck in my head all the way through school, I'd just be grumpy all day and it'd drive me crazy.
Dude, right now I have Mr. T on a loop in my head.
Danzig's got the box set of that D&D cartoon.
Oh, sick.
Oh, wow. I just remember.
What's up, Raj?
Cavalier and Acrobat. That's the only thing I remember from the end of the. There's like the Dungeon Master is like introducing the characters.
All right, how's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, Raj?
Doing good. Just to let you know, I think my favorite Canadian cartoon is the Terrence and Philip Show, and that's I'm just pointing out. No, but yeah, things are going good. Busy with life, and trying to get some sleep whenever I can. Which isn't the easiest thing.
What's your minimum required dosage of sleep per day?
What, to function like a human being, or to be
both? Your preferred and your bare minimum.
To function like a human being, and then to function like a filmmaker.
Right. Human being, I'd say a good 9 hours, but to function as a filmmaker, I could probably survive on about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah, you know what? It bummed me out because I was at a film. We've got something called the BFI, which is like
British
a huge
Film Institute.
That's the one, yeah. So, and they.
guess what, Raj? Go ahead, Raj. Start your monologue.
Yeah. So no, yeah, we're just there. You dick. You're such a dick. Yeah. No. Yeah. We're just hanging out, and yeah, it was just a good event, and they've got all sorts of funding and stuff. It just bummed me out because I met some friends, and they were all drinking all night, and I wasn't able to stay out with them. I had work the next day, so yeah. So I'm here talking with you guys instead. So
Hell
there
yeah.
you go.
Well, sometimes you got to work, man. You got to do it. You got to do that to fund your passion projects. Are you working on anything right now?
I am actually, yeah. I just finished another film about 2 weeks ago, so now I'm looking for the location of another film that I'm going to be shooting in another 2 weeks, and then
What was your the last film about? What's the synopsis?
synopsis. A man finds himself in the last place he'd ever want to be, facing his past and facing the consequences of his actions. It's a bit vague, but when you watch the film, you'll understand.
That sounds like the new season of Picard. And how about your up and coming film?
Oh, right, okay. Well, upcoming film, the logline for that is Priest prays for forgiveness as he takes out his retribution and vengeance on an evil and what's the word? Unredeemable man. There you go. It's called Ezekiel 25:17.
That
It's
sounds
based on-
awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see a movie that's a priest looking for vengeance. That sounds badass.
Yeah. Well, it'll probably be like a 3-4 minute thing anyway. So
Get Jeremy Renner to play the priest and just goes out tearing people's asses up. Like, that's cool.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. How do you feel about all this this recent news about all of the Warner Brothers?
Slow down there. One sec. I want to acknowledge Bobby here. Animaniacs was great. I haven't watched the new reboot yet though, but I really loved it, and I loved what Spielberg did with it, and it paid homage to the classic Merry Melodies when they made fun of Hollywood and stuff. It was really good.
I'm told that the reboot is actually like worth the price of admission.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually sick. So I'm told. I haven't taken the time to actually sit down and watch it, but people who I know who were also fans as a kid, they give it a thumbs up.
Hey, Plum, you want to reconnect? Did you get my message?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I need to leave StreamYard and then come back. Again, we're extending invitations to anyone. Call and show. The link is there in the chat. Just come in and say hi if you want. I'll try something new tonight. Yeah.
Cool.
After you, Clint.
Oh, I was just getting into. I figured we'd done some small talk. We're all caught up with Raj and Plum, and we've talked about sleep. Maybe it's time to start talking about some entertainment. And what better entertainment than The Boys season 3 poster
3
teases super powered Billy Butcher. Holy smokes. What do you guys think of that? A super powered Billy Butcher. I think that's the scariest thing you could throw at me. The dude's already a force to be reckoned with, just normal. Like, he's a super badass. The last thing you want to do is give that guy superpowers. He would just tear everybody up. He will. There's your priest, Raj. A super powered Billy Butcher kicking people's asses. That's crazy time right there.
Oh, that's going to be insane. I'm so looking forward to season 3 of The Boys. And by the way, I thought it was criminal that Dredd never got its sequel. I loved that film. I mean, and it was such a low budget film anyway. I mean, what for Hollywood standards anyway, but it was incredibly done. But I think you're right, James. I think the problem was because The Raid came out at the exact same time. It was always going to get compared, and it's a shame we never got that sequel. But Cole Lubbing is amazing anyway.
If we get that sequel now, people will probably go back and watch the first one because everybody loves him now. You know what I mean? So it's like they're gonna go. It's gonna be. You're gonna see one of those headlines that's like a Carl Urban movie that is like trending on Netflix now. Blah blah blah. You know, you see all these things that all of a sudden you're like, what? I didn't know he made that movie 10 years ago, and now it's on the top 10 on Netflix. It's exactly what'll happen if they do another Dredd.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
Have you read the comics, The Boys, Raj?
you know what? I've not had a chance to read it, but I do have friends that do, and I've been caught up with just been what I've been seeing online. And obviously, I think with film and TV, there's always has to be some creative license. You can't make it 100% from the
Yeah.
comics. It's like, because I always tell people like they don't like hearing it, but you know, adapting a novel or a comic book to a movie, it's like translating a language. Like certain things just won't make sense in a different platform, and sometimes it needs to be changed. I mean, Game of Thrones in the book, Tyrion is cut off.
So you haven't read the comics, is what you're saying?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But, no, but there's
Wait, hold on, because I can't remember in the comics if he took the V serum or not. I think he did, but I'm wondering if this poster is a misdirect because he's so against it, but you know he might fight fire with fire, right? Like it says in the header there. And it would be very interesting. And I was waiting for the whole 2 seasons for the boys to one of them or a couple of them to take the serum, you know.
Maybe there's a shapeshifter character.
Yeah, you know, there's that thing, and then there's the whole Black Noir twist that I don't want to ruin for anyone, which they're probably going to deviate from too. So we'll see.
Well, both seasons
CB3.
so far. Hey, Curtis, you got a beautiful green background going
Hello.
on there.
Oh, thank you. Hello, wonderful people. How are you?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's Friday. It's spring break. I'm
Broadcasting from
great.
his bunker.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You know what?
Oh, you won't be laughing.
Yeah, you know what? You love to see it. Clint and Curtis together, the Peacemakers.
Yeah.
The
I love it.
Peacemakers.
Bakers, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Thank you,
love to see
Raj.
it.
Cinemuffins.
Did I hear correctly, Plum? You have not seen Tombstone, is that correct?
That's right. Of course, the two
All right,
Texans
see
are.
ya, Plum.
You yeah. You got to get that fixed.
Oh, you got to get on that, dude.
We'll see.
Spectre Man? Anybody
Maybe
seen
I'll
Spectre
avoid it
Man?
out of spite.
Spectre Man.
Nope, that's showing my age. I barely even remember that.
Spectre Man.
I just feel
That's
like
the
it's like
Japanese?
cheap at it.
It's Japanese old
Yeah,
stop motion character, like
Yeah, I
looks
remember
like a
that.
silver surfer with a horn on his head.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Black Adam was delayed by Warner Brothers till October 2022, along with everything else in the world except for Shazam 2. Shazam got moved up 6 months, which is unheard of. And everything else, you got the Flash, Aquaman 2, all this stuff has got pushed back, but then they moved up the Shazam 2 sequel, or Shazam sequel, and also they moved it to the same weekend as Avatar. That's really bizarre, and it's weird to think like what could be causing all of these things. We thought that they found their groove. They got it together. They're really doing things with the Batman and with Peacemaker and all this stuff. It was a little bit of a slowdown for the Suicide Squad movie, but it didn't do so well. But the Peacemaker thing is like one of the most viewed streaming shows ever, and this new Batman movie is amazing. So what the heck is going on? Well, what could be going on?
Well, Disney owns Avatar now.
Do they?
Yeah, like when they bought Fox had the rights to Avatar, so they own Avatar now. So it would be nothing for them to shuffle release dates again. And I'm wondering if their plan is to shuffle Avatar because maybe Cameron's not close to finishing it like he thought he was, because he always delays it.
Yeah, but what would that have to do with
a long time?
What would that have to do with Warner Brothers?
No, just so that they could compete against each other.
Oh, I'm
and try to
sorry.
take money from one another, I think.
No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
No, like for them to go for Warner Brothers to put their movie. I think you just switched the Disney and DC in your head for a second. I did that.
Yeah.
I did that the other day. There's so many movies going on that you got to compare to. So I totally feel what
My
what just happened.
wires have got crossed.
Yeah,
there
no,
for
I
a
did.
minute.
I did exactly
Apologies.
the same thing the other day. But yeah, but like it's really weird because I don't really care about Avatar at all. But there's a lot of people.
No one
that do.
does. I don't know why
Dude,
they're even making another one.
Dude, why? Because they made $1 billion on the first one. People sleep on Avatar, but dude, that movie's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. We don't think so because we're a bunch of dorks that like comic books. You know what I mean? But like, I'm telling you, it's like
I don't know,
people.
I still
trust
the
me, dude,
ship may have. I mean, it's going to be big. I agree, it's going to be big, but I don't know. Like the ship has sailed, I think, a little bit on it. Maybe not.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know.
but because
I-
even huge fans of it, like they're gonna see it, but they're not like, especially after 10 years, they're not like, oh my god, it's coming. They're just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. So,
I'm really curious. Like I would like to I'd like to hit up Vegas and put some bets on and see what the odds are of how well this movie's going to do and gamble against it because it's interesting because it has been a long time and I'm like, have digital effects progressed now to where it's not like where we're not people back when it came out were like, whoa, dude, that's unreal what they did, but now it's like, oh yeah, they did that. I remember that.
Yeah, but he's James Cameron's an innovator, and he
Yeah,
knows
he
how to
always
get butts
tries
in the
to-
seats, and that's what they're banking on Avatar 2, and he's up to technology, and that's why he's taking his time, and he was like writing it, and then they had to go back on the drawing board because they created new technologies for it. That's what he does. He creates new technologies, and then he pretty much guarantees $1 billion. Maybe it'll be like $2 billion. You never know.
Yeah,
And-
I no, honestly, I think that it's not a smart idea for Warner Brothers to put out Shazam at the same time Avatar 2 is coming out. It's
Agreed,
really
and
not that, really
it's-
not clever.
It's not clever at all. Do you think they did that because they are so confident in the Shazam 2 movie that they're like, dude, we can fight against, like, it's going to come out a few days before Avatar. So they're going to get like one weekend's worth of business before Avatar comes out, but it's like practically, I think it's like maybe a Wednesday release as opposed to a Friday release, something like that. Do you think it's because they're so confident and it's going to be during the holidays when everyone's out of school and they got plenty of traffic? Or do you think that Shazam is not turning the way they want and that's their sacrificial lamb? Or what? I mean, what do you guys think?
It seems like a dumb.
No,
like a
I
dumb
don't
take.
think they're gonna...
No, I think that they're just fucking idiots at the end of the day. They're just morons. I'm sorry, but like think about it. No Way Home, it came out in Christmas. They're smart enough to keep it going in the cinemas. The Batman is doing okay, but pretty soon they're going to be putting that out in HBO Max. I mean, there's a reason why the clown table came up as a terminology. So
Jedi Master EJ, what's up? I'm back. We're talking about why would they put Shazam 2 on the same weekend as Avatar 2? That's what we're talking about.
And there's for a few reasons, brother. So go ahead.
I was going to say, me and James were talking about the merger that's been happening, and could this be causing some of these weird things? Like people like to get credit and for these projects. Do you think maybe they're pushing these back so that the new people get credit? Or do you think maybe they're going to have a whole new team to market these things and they want to do it their way? Or what do you think, James? What do you think about all that? Like,
well, I think that Warner Brothers is banking on Avatar switching release dates again, being pushed. But the official reasoning of these being delayed is because of the COVID reasons, right? That's the go-to reasons now.
Yeah,
but we can speculate all we want, but we don't know for sure. Maybe they need some more time. It's funny that The Rock announced it, so he really pulled some leverage there to say, hey, I'm the one that's going to announce that it's being delayed, but and his is the only one that, like, what's the only one that didn't get delayed? It was Shazam 2, right?
It got moved up 6 months, which is unheard of. Nobody moves their movies up 6 months.
But they must have faith in it, or they must have something to keep the audience happy, right? To be honest with you, oh god, no, there's my door.
Uh-oh.
I'll be back.
Okay. I think they needed a family friendly movie, probably. You know, that's something good. Like Shazam was a fun, well-rounded movie that everybody liked, and it wasn't a super huge movie, but I think enough people have seen it that they're going to be excited for this, and they wanted a family friendly film. You know, and these other things, like right now, I don't think it's there's no coincidences, man. And they just approved the merger. Like the government's approved the mergers like in February, and now this last week they voted and the mergers have gone through, and it's cool. So now we got a new regime changing, and I feel like I haven't even read up enough on all of the details. We don't know who's gonna go and who's gonna come. And I heard somebody else talking in
keep it clean,
giggling over there. What do we got? Like 13-year-olds over here. Well, we don't even know. We don't know who's going to be stick around once the smoke settles from this merger. Yeah. And I heard another streamer that I'm a fan of talking about it, and he was saying that some of these people are like maybe wanting to have some good stuff for their next year for their numbers, because if you've got a whole bunch of movies that are not even that are going to be finished up, there's nothing on the new slate for later, so they want to show up. It's kind of like when you get a new president or something. They don't have any new projects going. It's just what we know about, and so and they got a whole new regime change, so they got to all of a sudden next year, the 2023 is going to look like, hey, we got these new execs. And boy, they had a crappy year. The year before looked really good. So if you just pull some of those over into their year, then at the end, when they have their big discovery meeting at the end of the year, it looks like, hey man, they had the Flash too. They had they had all this stuff.
Or it could be the other way though, Clint.
It could be.
It could be the fact that they, with the new merger or whatever, they want to take their time with these films.
That too.
Because with the Justice League 2017. They rushed that out so the executives could get their bonuses at the end of the year, right? Yep. So maybe now it's like, no, you guys aren't rushing the stuff out now. These are major tentpole properties. We're going to do it justice. We're going to do it right. And if you guys need more time, we're going to give it to you. Maybe it's the actual opposite way.
It could be. They could have talked to Hamadaberger and he could have been like, yeah, dude, the all of these execs that you're about to fire, they've been really rushing my property, my stuff. I wish I had a little more time to sort these things out. I mean, who knows?
If they get fired.
If they all get fired, I'm sure, dude, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people leaving. What do you got, Raj? You're chomping at the bit.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I am 100%.
Come on, James.
You absolute dickhead. You are such an arsehole.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Raj, please continue.
Man, you know what? Yeah, honestly, like I think 100% guaranteed, like the current regime, they're not going to be there. Like most mergers, most company mergers, it always happens that way anyway. And I'm always following what Sil and Mikey are doing on their show. And to be fair, I mean, they're not always 100% right, but they're right most of the time. So yeah, I think my theory is that they probably looked at the Flash and they weren't happy with what they were seeing. And with this merger coming out, they were like, you know what, we need to clean this up. So they're giving themselves extra time just to get this right. I mean, we're seeing the news at the minute with Ben Affleck saying that, oh, actually, no, he's not going to die in the Flash. And, oh, actually, the Snyder Cut did amazingly well. And all this is coming out. None of it is a coincidence. Like, they're trying to build the hype around this. So...
And they could also be looking at Spider-Man No Way Home and looking at the Multiverse of Madness and say, we need more cameos. We're all doing the same multiverse thing. We need more cameos. Who else? Who can we get in this? Hey, how do we put Peacemaker? Peacemaker was one of the biggest streaming things. Let's get a Peacemaker cameo. Let's get a this cameo. Let's get a that cameo. What else? What else we got? I mean, like, it's like there's no telling what else they're going to jam into this movie. Especially, I mean, do we really know how they're behaving in Discovery? What they feel? We know, like, they've got a bunch of TV stuff, but what are they going to be doing as far as overseeing any of this stuff? Are they going to be hands-on? We get press releases from David Zaslav that says, hey, this is all about the creators and all that, and this is made to make us all feel good, you know what I mean? But like, we haven't seen them do anything. Like, I'm gonna wait to see how the new stuff over the next year turns out, and the next 2 years turns out. And you know, we might be cursing David Zaslav in the future, and we don't even know it. We might think we have it bad now, and then all of a sudden these new guys really screw everything up. We're not going to know until we know. Let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope that they are good to the creators. And that was one of the articles that I had read earlier today. Had said that basically, that he was like, yeah, I'm all about, his quote is, I took a screenshot just so that, of course, I have a whole bunch of crap on my phone, but here we go. Yeah, he said, when the deal was unveiled in May, Zaslav said that talent relationships would be the #1 priority for the merged company. That's really the most important thing, because if you let your artists create the films that they want to create, and within reason, you got to put a little bit of a barrier so that artists don't go over the top. But if he sticks to that philosophy, there's good things that could happen from it. But let's just hope that's not some good publicity. I don't know.
See, this is why I have a little bit of faith in that. I mean, Zaslav's already in a point where he's trying to mend relationships with Christopher Nolan, and I mean, Warner Brothers is a PR nightmare. I mean, they've lost faith with the fans. They've burnt relationships with certain other filmmakers and actors. I mean, the producers of The Matrix are suing them, and rightfully so. I mean, it's just a complete PR nightmare that they're going through. So I think the first thing they're going to do is damage control. You know, they have to mend those relationships. You know, because
do you know what they're citing as reasons for the lawsuit?
Go on.
No, I'm asking if you know, like, what they're suing over.
You talking about The Matrix?
Yeah, The Matrix.
Probably most likely the marketing.
I think it's the day and date stuff that they lost money from it, if I remember correctly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
As long as it's nothing creative, because that's all on Wachowski.
No,
that whole movie is basically a FU metaphor. Me and
Warner
Curtis,
Brothers,
yeah. Me and Curtis talked about that. They basically, in the movie, is super meta. They're talking about how the overseers are making them do this game and making them do all this. It's basically like they were saying Warner Brothers put a gun to our head, said if we don't do this movie, they're going to give it to somebody else. We're going to go, if somebody's going to kill our baby, it's going to be us. It's kind of what the Wachowski said in that movie.
But what if they didn't kill the baby? What if they would have made a good follow-up to the Matrix trilogy? What if that would have happened? No one thinks the positive, right?
Call it, Sanchez, or you'll get a knuckle supper.
I think if they would have played ball, like, you know what I mean? I think they didn't want to do it, and one of them decided not to join. I'm not doing it. And we're like, well, I'm not going to let somebody else screw this thing up. And dude, I've done things like that. I wrote a song talking smack and talking about how the record label was screwing me around. You know what I mean? Like I get it. And
no, yeah, I'm not criticizing the decision to make a movie that's critical of the studio system that's going on right now. But I am kind of criticizing the Matrix movie for being a not great movie.
But do you honestly see them pulling out a good one though? Do you imagine that?
I could imagine that.
I don't know. I mean, it probably would have been fine.
If the production team was like willing to try and make a good movie instead of just, making the next one, as a lot
the
of
Matrix
sequels
4
are.
was good, but they needed to get Yunwo Ping back for the fight choreography.
Agreed. Or someone as good. Which, sorry, there's no one really as good, but
Thank you, Bat Channel. Yes, hit that like button, please. Subscribe too, and quack that notification bell.
Yep.
And
yeah.
I was thinking too. I wonder if what they might be doing with the Flash and Aquaman is, since there's so much multiverse stuff going on right now, and we know that's going to be in Flashpoint, if they're like getting some distance from it. So
Bat thirst.
they are not caught up in the, let it die down a little bit, and then next year it'll be fresher.
That's a valid question. Like, they maybe space it out a little bit. That's funny is DC did the multiverse first, but now they're having but Marvel's beating them to the punch. I don't know. I can tell you, I'm getting tired of time travel and stuff. Like, I really am. I watched the Atom Project today because Curtis and I were going to talk about it later.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I'm not going to. I'm not spoiling anything that's not in the trailer. It's
about time travel. I haven't even watched the trailer.
Yeah, it's in the trailer. So don't.
I haven't watched the trailer.
Well, I'm talking about Picard.
I'm just busting your balls. I've seen
it. Picard is about time travel. This is about time travel.
You got
like
you got to save the future.
Yeah, you got multiverse happening in Star Wars. You've got with the world between worlds. There's time travel in Star Wars. If you watch the animated stuff, and it's canon. You got multiverse of madness. You got I'm like, dude, there's a lot of multiverse time travel stuff going on here. Like, it's getting ridiculous. Like,
that's what happens when we
here's something
into the dark timeline, man.
Yeah, and here's something else. We got the new Indiana Jones. Guess what? Frickin' time travel in Indiana Jones is what I'm hearing.
What?
Yes, time travel, and you got a scene of him with Nazi stuff going on in the like current time. So it's like
oh God, let it die! Like, he's 80 years old. Get him out of that hat. Like,
that's what I'm hearing. The legend of the time traveling crystal skull. And there's time travel. Time travel. The next week's episode is about time travel. Everything about time travel. Okay, I'm done. I think the Red Bull kicked in. Sorry, guys.
I mean, he's an 80-year-old man. Just let him smoke pot and do whatever. Harrison, he's earned it.
They're done filming now, so it's done with. So they're just got to piece it together, CGI a bunch of action. But so he doesn't have any more broken bones. Poor guy, he keeps getting hurt every time they film something. But I mean, dude, it's like, what do you expect? I'm getting nervous watching Picard walk up a platform, and it's like all my heroes are getting super old, and damn, Harrison Ford, like, I wouldn't mess with that. Harrison Ford and Clint Eastwood, like, I don't care how old those guys are. I wouldn't mess with those dudes. But it seems like every time Harrison Ford throws a punch, he like dislocates his shoulder or something. So it's like, I'm glad they're done filming. And
he just needs to stop flying.
Yeah. Harrison Ford's badass. Like, that dude flies helicopters and stuff and like rescues people off of the side of mountains. And so can you imagine being the guy, like, you and your family, you're stuck on the side of a mountain and you're trapped, and a helicopter comes down, and you're like, it's freaking Harrison Ford. That really happened. He's actually rescued people in real life. He volunteered as a rescue pilot and stuff, and that's really happened. And can you imagine? You're like on the side of a cliff, and all of a sudden, whoosh, and the whip comes over and gets you, and you're like, bum, ba, bum. You get to like jump into a helicopter. It's awesome, super cool.
I don't think he uses a whip while doing like search and rescue.
Yes, he does.
Plum, you do not know what you're talking about. You don't know.
Where's the fedora?
Take it back. Now, I guarantee you, if I was Harrison Ford and I was doing some rescue stuff, you guaranteed you're gonna see me wearing a fedora. I guarantee you. There's no way in hell,
right?
Unless I'm wearing the Han Solo outfit, flying the helicopter. But it's one or the other.
You can still wear the Solo outfit with the fedora.
With the fedora, dude.
Hey, he's got to wear all of the paraphernalia. He's got to wear all.
And then he's got the holster, the gun belt.
And if I was on the side of the mountain, I would just fall off the mountain. I would die. If I saw Han Solo wearing a fedora, it's over.
How many times a year do you think California search and rescue or whatever has to deal with people hanging off the side of cliffs, and they go to save them, and they're like, "No, we're waiting on Ford. Get out! No, just go.
Exactly,
just go."
And that's a
story. Ford.
That's a story my dad told me. So I haven't even actually read that. So if that's just a urban legend, so that's my dad. God rest my dad's soul.
he can't do search and rescue anymore. He keeps twisting his ankle. We got
sit in the helicopter.
We got Sean McLaughlin in the house here.
Oh, hey, Sean, how you doing, man?
Hey, how are you?
Mr. Batman Beyond himself.
Hell yeah.
How you been, my friend?
Good. I couldn't find my glasses, so everybody's looking blurry. So y'all look great to me.
Nice.
Probably the only time we will.
Yeah.
Good. How are you guys been doing?
Good. Next
Good,
girlfriend I have, I'm gonna hide her glasses so I always look good. That's a genius move right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure hiring a
single.
I'm pretty sure that hiring a girlfriend is an escort, right? Last time
I didn't say
Hey,
hire,
hey! You know what? If you whatever you do is your business. You're a grown man. You know, get your kicks however you.
Thank you,
But
James.
Nice one, Raj.
If you're hiring them, they have to say you look good. Otherwise, you don't tip at the end.
Yeah, I hope I didn't say that. Next girlfriend I hire, I'm gonna make sure and hide her glasses. That's a good soundbite. Funny.
Danzig said that the last few months of the year just got too crowded. He still thinks Flash and Aquaman 2 will swap. Aquaman 2 for me needs more visual effects. Maybe that's a good point. Maybe they did get a lot of delayed because of visual effects, and I did hear some rumblings about that because of all COVID delays, and then now that restrictions has eased up, that more visual effects companies have a lot of backlogs, right? And that could be another reason too. So I don't think it all has to do with this merger, to be honest with you.
What?
They're like all of. I was gonna say all of our visual effects artists are in shipping containers off the coast of California right now. We can't do anything.
Were you talking about the WB Discovery merger?
Yeah. Sean, if anyone would hear any rumblings or know, like, have you heard anything? What do you think about it?
No, I've been like crazy busy the last few weeks. I will finalize the shooting schedule for Twilight. So everything's been nuts. I just heard today about the hot desk program that DC's on, which I kind of think is sad and hilarious at the same time.
What did you hear?
How come, Clint? Hot Desk is they just have an office now in LA, where most of the artists, the writers, editors, they work from home, but they'll have a desk where you can come in and you can bring your laptop and your boards and you can work. And there's been a lot of backlash.
DC was mostly the editors working in house,
right.
So they don't have their own offices anymore. Apparently they have a desk. There's shared office space, and they go on an app and they sign in, and they decide the days they're going to go into the office.
Yeah, they got like a half dozen desks or maybe more there. But what do you think of that? Because I thought it was a good idea, because a lot more people are working from home now, especially because of the pandemic, and it makes sense because I think a lot of it that came attached to it is because they moved from New York to California, right?
Well, they had great offices in Burbank when they moved there to begin with. They were in trailers, but they were in the same trailers that Warner Animation was at one point. People actually had offices, and now I guess they don't. And I don't know. For a startup or a small company, great, but for a major player like that, I don't think that's really a great idea myself. But I'm not running the joint. True.
I see it as like a company adapting to the 21st century world we're in right now. That was my first instinct when I read that. So.
I would never. I mean, I haven't been at Warner Brothers for a long time, but I think they're still trying to adapt to the 19th century.
Well, it's just DC Comics, right? It's not Warner Brothers with the hot desks.
Yeah, but I mean but that's who runs it now.
Oh yeah. But Warner Brothers will never give up their studios or their offices because they love that. But DC Comics has been cutting costs for like a couple years now. I mean, the fandom before last. Yeah, fandom before last, they laid off and fired a bunch of people, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
before you'd come in, we were talking about how like they've pushed back all of their DC movies, and then they pushed up Shazam 2 to the same weekend that Avatar 2 is supposed to come out, which is kind of weird. And we were just kind of like thinking, hey, why are they doing all these moves? And of course, last week the merger got voted on and got approved, and it was approved last month with the but with the governments and stuff. So we're just trying to say, hey, what's going on? Is this Discovery moving all these things forward? Is this because of the VFX people and COVID? What's the real thing that's happening here that's going on? Clearly, like, the fans are all just discouraged because we're all excited about new stuff. We're all stoked on the new Batman movie, and we want to see all of our movies, and having stuff pushed back sucks. So what's the deal? What's happened? What do you think's happening with all this?
Well, Flash has been pushed back time and time and time again, right? I mean, it was a long time in pre-production going through. I don't know anybody. I don't think I know anybody there. I know some people in animation still. I don't know that coming in like that, they would be looking at stuff that had been in production and pre-production and production for years that closely.
Thank you.
I mean, it would more than likely be either VFX stuff or reshoots that were already somehow in the pipeline. There might be some second thoughts about stuff because that's just the way they are. But I mean, when you push something back like that, you are messing with toy deals and other tie-ins. So sometimes it's a better idea just to keep going, even if you're not happy with the product that much. I mean, when they changed. When the head of Kids WB changed back when there was network television, I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember network television, but when the head of Kids WB changed, they didn't stop anything that was in production, but they did want changes made on the stuff that hadn't gone into production yet. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's just so much money in place, and to move it back means changing so many moving parts. It seems like a bad idea. It also always, whenever you move something back, people seem to think, oh, there's a problem with it, like you guys are. So,
yeah.
See, that's why. No, go on.
No, they are, but that's why I said thank you, because I'm like, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the merger.
I'm really thinking at this point, like I said earlier, that maybe they're just going to try and stuff as many cameos as possible to compete with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. They're like, we need cameos. Cameos are hot. Cameos are the new thing.
Yeah.
See,
or push it back and then use that as like, all right, we're resetting now, so we need to push stuff closer together so we can hit bing, bang, 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 boom, and get a whole bunch of stuff out at the same time.
Yeah. See, I think I remember saying this the last time I was here. A friend of mine was a background extra in the film, and they just said it was complete chaos, when the Flash was shot here in the UK. Educated guess would be that, if it is the case where, because this merger's coming in, where they're just looking at post-production and they're like, we're not happy with this and we have to push it back, that wouldn't be surprising. So if it's smart or not, I don't know. But yeah, that wouldn't be surprising if they said, yeah, we're not putting this out there.
Every film is chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some are more chaos than others.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, but I'm not going to reveal too much information, but it's a case where, people are getting hurt and people are acting like absolute maniacs, but that's for another time. But yeah.
That's it. That is a smart move, though, to like, okay, let's move all the dominoes back, and then that way, when we push the first domino, if you keep the momentum, you know what I mean? A lot of people are thinking, oh, we got some momentum with this new Batman movie. Now it's just falling flat. But maybe if you don't have all your dominoes set up later, you're just going to have something else pop up, and then it's going to die out. So if they're going to have all of these, if they're going to come in with a bunch of combos, like, boom, there's your Aquaman, boom, there's your, Flash, and you got them all set up and they're all well done. That's a smart way to play it. Let's just hope that's what they're doing, because I don't mind waiting if it means we're going to get a bunch of badass material. But if it's just like, oh, I don't know, we need this projection for this quarter. We want this to fall right before the shareholders meeting, so we look good and blah blah blah. And I really don't want that.
Yeah,
I want,
yeah.
You know,
100% agree. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's about the quality now. But that's it. I mean, you know, what else is there? I mean,
let's just hope Feige knows what he's doing. Oh, never mind. Sorry, wrong one. Sorry, guys.
So who is it? That's my question. Who is their Feige? Who's DC?
Hamada Burger.
Yeah.
No,
It's still
they
Hamada?
don't. They don't really have a Feige.
one. Okay.
No, I mean Snyder was the closest thing, but he's not there at the moment.
Right. That's kind of was my thinking, but that's
Yeah.
Snyder's like a Favreau kind of.
I don't know how Marvel works, but the DC Warner Brothers thing when I was there, it for a long time it was just we were left alone. Here's the rules. I was talking to somebody about this today that when we did Justice League Cartoon Network said, here's the rules. Don't break these. Call us when you've got 13 episodes. But now there's a lot more fingers in the pie. They keep adding executives. I was there in October and drove by, and it looked like there were more executive buildings than there used to be. And it cracked. There's two facilities. There's the main lot with the water tower that everybody knows, and then right down the street from that, there's what was called the Ranch, which was a secondary exterior shooting facility. It had a couple suburban streets and a couple western towns on it, and they were just constantly plowing stuff like that under to put up office buildings. Because when you make movies, you don't need sets, you need offices. That's the most important part of the business.
Of course.
And that's I think where that's where animation went after they left Sherman Oaks. But there were even more buildings. So there's more people who've got to say I've had my say on this. So my job is important. See, I'm good for the next contract negotiation.
Yep, that's the thing with execs, man. And that's one thing that Disney was doing right was that Bob Iger was cutting out those people that like, and just he started dealing with Feige directly, and had a great relationship. Like, you know what? I don't need this guy and this guy and this guy. If anybody's seen the that movie Inventing Anna or Being at whatever the movie right now, it shows her working at Manhattan Magazine, and she's got somebody over her and somebody over her, and then there's like the editor of the magazine. It's like dealing with all these D-bags between you and the boss. It's really unnecessary, and everybody's, like you said, worried about their bonuses and whatnot and how they look the next time something's going down. And I think that's part of the reason that Marvel has done so well is that they cut all that stuff out and just have one quarterback here to take care of this. Yeah. And like I wish that DC would do something like that, to where it's like, hey, this is the guy in charge, and this is, of course, the conversation that every dork has. If they just had their Kevin Feige at DC, we've been talking about that for years and years. But it's really true. Not having a bunch of accountants and people that are playing golf every weekend talking about what they think instead of actually being into the material that they're talking about is Let's
absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah. But it's so yeah. No, but it's so true. And I think from the stories and the leaks that we're hearing, it seems like Zaslav is trying to go down that route anyway, of trying to get rid of certain people, because it is a mess, and a lot of people that are watching the content, they're not happy, and as a filmmaker, as artists, our biggest fear is just unnecessary interference. If you trust me, hire me to do the job, and I'll do it well. If you've got some notes, I'll take it on board. But don't then just imagine Michelangelo's painting the Sistine Chapel, and then the Pope's coming in and changing.
Well, that actually did happen. The Pope actually.
But there's one thing. When he made the statue of David. I don't know if you know this story. When he made statue of David, he said, "Oh, I don't like the shape of the nose," and David did a little thing, and he said, "Oh, how about now?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's great." He didn't touch it at all. He just pretended like he did.
Oh,
so Yeah. So sometimes people nitpicking, they don't even know what they're really nitpicking about.
No, but Raj, like to go back to
knows.
Zaslav for a minute, like disregard all the scoops and the inside information, all that stuff about Zaslav. Even when it was announced that Discovery might merge with AT&T, right, in WB, right away everyone was painting Zaslav as this hero that was going to save the DC film superhero universe. Before that, it was Stanky, and before that, it was Jason Killer, right? Even though, you know, Zaslav hasn't made a statement, he hasn't tweeted anything, he hasn't said anything really. But as soon as his name came out, he was a savior for DC films.
Yeah.
And that's the fans did that. So now they've created this narrative where he's going to be the savior. Well, what if that doesn't happen? Like it's the same thing that happened with Jason Killer. He was the savior, and then that didn't happen with HBO Max.
You're
so
absolutely
thinking about
right,
what
dude.
you know, how much he's taking over. Like think about the totality of what that means to take over that entertainment complex, and how big a part of that is DC. You know, it's not that big. You know, so.
Well, it goes beyond it. No, it goes beyond. It goes beyond DC. I would say that whether or not it, you know, restores the Snyderverse, to use a quote, I don't know, but it's very unlikely that he's going to run it exactly the same way that the current regime are doing it. Otherwise, what's the point of the merger?
No, with the new regime comes new changes, obviously, but the fact that all the fans have painted him as a savior, like, if that doesn't happen, you guys
I mean, I can't speak for them.
And set yourself up for disappointment.
He fails harder if he does, you know.
Like
it's the reverse of the show we were doing, James, where it's like we were doing Are They Villains? I'm like, what do you guys really know about Kathleen Kennedy? How much do you really know about Toby Emmerich or Casey Blois, chief content officer at HBO? You guys are all like attacking all these people. Nobody really knows. Like we just hear things, and this guy, this is the reverse of that. Is this guy the second coming of Feige? You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like, is he just another business guy that's going to be looking at numbers? And maybe, you know, like I said, he might have the best publicist ever that said, hey, man, everybody is talking about how Warner Brothers burned their bridges with all of their talent and by doing this day and date stuff. So now that you're doing this, you need to start talking about how this is about the talent. It's all about the talent. We're going to repair our relationship with the talent. The talent and us are best friends. I just put the talent in my will. I'm best friends with all the talent. Now he's the second coming. They're like, did you hear that? He likes talent. He loves talent. Like Zaslav's got talent. No,
wasn't Jason Killer the second coming though? Like
I mean,
everyone painted him as that. And that didn't work out. And now everyone's saying Zaslav is going to come in and save everything.
Zaslav he could hate talent, and we don't even know it right now. Like he might hate. I hate these pretentious creatives.
He might not even like superhero films, right? He might want to focus on national or Discovery and his reality TV shows and stuff that. You know, he might not even like the superhero movies.
It's possible. I mean, I think with Keeler though, I mean, it was with him. It was always speculation. I was always a bit iffy about why people saying Keeler's this big thing. But I don't know. I think the Zaslav thing. I think it's hopeful because you are hearing
Zaslav is speculation too.
Yeah, but he is
even more so because Keeler actually like.
We haven't even seen him do anything. We haven't seen anything from Zaslav.
That's the thing. No, I agree. No, but that's the thing. I agree. He's speculation as well. The reason I'm saying probably a little bit more promising is that he's maybe talking to Christopher Nolan, and that was the biggest loss WB had. Losing Christopher Nolan. That's the biggest loss.
Well, any new executive that takes over after merger is going to go talk to the top money-making directors that were in the older regimes. That's smart. Of course, they're going to go.
Or the thing to remember is that there's always more talent coming, and that's a sad part of the business, and that's something the businessmen really know. Like everybody likes Zack Snyder. Well, Zack Snyder wasn't Zack Snyder before 300, and is it better to go and repair that relationship, or is it better to go out and find the new one? And if you find the new one, not only have you done that, but you can say, hey, you know what? I'm the guy who brought this fella in, and that looks much better. to the board than going back and going, and I hired this guy that we fired before. I brought him back.
Yeah, on that note, please follow me on Vimeo and YouTube, and I am available. So,
but yeah, to that point, that's part of the reason why I'm actually really excited about the new Predator movie. If you take a look at the IMDb pages for the writer and the director, there's not that much under their belt. There's impressive stuff. Like I think the director did an episode, like a really great episode of Black Mirror, and the first episode of The Boys. Dan Trachtenberg, yeah, Trachtenberg, that's his name. So, I don't know why I was spacing on it. Thanks for catching that.
I mean, you did edit the video, Plum.
I edited the video. I did the voiceover.
I'd say go to the source, but that's you.
Take your glasses off and see if it helps.
No, it does not.
All right, all right.
That's that whole idea for that Predator movie, though. I think it'd be super cool. I've thought about similar topics like that, like where it's like you got an alien and not in the present, like in the past. Like what if an alien showed up in ancient Rome? I think that's really cool. Which reminds me of what's the Monty Python movie? Oh, The Life of Brian.
Oh, with the spaceship?
Yeah, it just popped in my head. Sorry about that. Yeah, but I think that's cool. Seems like I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out.
It seems kind of like the idea. What's the Scottish director, the guy who made Dog Soldiers and
shit.
Kevin is shit. I can't think of his name, but like that, it seems like one of his ideas.
Rob Green.
You know, if only
Neil Marshall.
Neil Marshall. If only there was some kind of device that we could hold in our hands and we could look up information when we didn't remember it.
I'm ready for the chip. Just give me the chip. Just put it in.
No,
there.
you don't use that. You don't use that device for information. You use it for countless arguing on Twitter. That's what that device is.
And you definitely don't talk on that device. That thing is not for talking on. We don't do that anymore.
I get enough arguing at home. I don't need to go out for it.
Didn't you have I guess a heated debate with someone on Twitter? Was it about Star Wars or Book of Boba
Oh, the
Fett
Batman guy.
Yeah.
The guy who told me that I didn't understand Batman. That one.
Sean's face just changed. You got so mad for a second there.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I was. Well, that wasn't an argument. That was sort of like leading him down the path, to see if he would eventually look at my profile, to see what I had done.
Never.
No clue. I finally posted Lego Batman, and that sort of stopped him. No, I said that because I was watching the trailers for the new Batman movie, and I just thought like every iterate, and I know I'm going to get jumped on for this, but every iteration of that character seems to work to suck any of the fun out of Batman. And the guy said, "Well, Batman's not about fun. He's about vengeance. That's what Batman's about." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
It's still from a comic book. It has to be fun.
Yeah. So it's a guy who dresses up like a bat. I would just like to point that out. Right. That Howard Chaykin said that Batman. We've got 80 years of stories about a guy who had a really shitty day when he was 8.
Yeah, I remember that.
It wasn't Robert Pattinson doing a dummy account? I heard he gets online and fights with people online.
Oh man,
really?
That's what I heard. That he gets in and with a fake account and goes in and actually argues, like defends himself. That are like talking about Batman sparkling and stuff like that. He'll go in and defend himself.
Maybe you were arguing with Pattinson then, Sean. But
what a full and interesting life he must lead.
Yeah. I saw someone say that I was 9 years old and I sat in the theater and I watched Tim Burton's Batman and I saw a dark and gritty Batman. And then 20 years later, I saw Batman Begins and I saw a dark and gritty Batman. And then 20 years later, I saw another dark and gritty Batman. It's like every 20 years. Yeah. But at least, we have the Brave and the Bold cartoon, right? And even the animated series didn't take itself too seriously.
And that's what kind of gave me a good. I'm gonna go check it out. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna go check it out. Over spring break. But the kids at school, I'm a teacher. They really weren't excited at all. I was like, "Y'all gonna check out Batman?" And they're like, "Maybe," and they're like, "It's this." They're like, "It's the same movie," and I'm like, I'm excited for it, but they're kind of right. It's it's like it's gonna be another Batman
audience,
movie,
right?
and it's gonna be good, but they're not doing,
Well,
anything
I enjoyed it. I mean, I liked it, but when I was in the cinema, there were a young couple that did walk out halfway through. So I mean, the Batman, it's the Batman. It's going to do well, but I don't think it's this massive thing that everyone says it is. And I liked it. I actually really enjoyed it.
I'm excited. Not like.
Did you see it, Sean?
No. I'll wait. I've had enough Batman in my life. I'll wait till it's on HBO Max. I mean, I can't judge it. I've worked on it so closely, and I have my own ideas about it. Like I'm not really a fair judge. To me, once you put, you guys have probably heard me say once you put him in armor, it's not Batman anymore. Because I don't think Batman gives a shit if somebody shoots him or not. So I thought I said Batman Begins was the best Iron Man movie made before Iron Man.
You're right. It's not crazy if he's in armor.
Yeah, I think I think they just keep going down the same path, and that's what drives me crazy. Because, like you said, 20 years I saw a dark and gritty Batman, and then 20 years later I saw another one. I'm old enough to remember when Dark Knight Returns came out. Everybody was like, "Oh crap, this is something new," and then they've been replaying that song since 1986 now. And nobody seems to think maybe we should change the game somehow. One of the things about Batman the Animated Series was that it brought back some fun to it.
Right.
I still think they should do Batman versus Predator.
Absolutely.
Well, Sandy Collar actually did with the short film Batman.
There's a fan film.
That was actually a feature-length version of that one. That would be sick.
That was actually one of the fan films I really liked, just because it got to the point to where he gets pulled up out of frame and like, oh, all right, I haven't seen this before. Please play on.
Sandy Collar, he works in Hollywood. He's been a visual effects artist for years. So I mean, when it's got feature quality written all over it for a short film, So. I like the guy who played the Joker, to be honest. That always stuck with me ever since I saw it. Have you ever seen that, Curtis?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to check
I'll
that
send
out.
you the link. You gotta watch it.
It's really good.
It's worth seeing.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of, and it's fun, right? It's dark, but it's fun. Now that guy's gonna be jumping all over my ass on Twitter again. That's what I'm gonna be spending the rest of my night doing.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, I think art is always subjective. There's no right or wrong answers. Whatever you like is what you like. But I do agree with you, Curtis, and that because I know some people, just general audiences, like they're excited about it, but they're not like super excited about it because they're comparing it to The Dark Knight. They're like, well, we already saw Nolan do it already, so
yeah,
that's why people aren't tripping themselves over just to see it straight away. But
and that's the thing too with the original or with the Tim Burton one. It was a dark and gritty Batman. However, it still had a very comic booky feel. It still had whimsy and stuff like that to it. Whereas the Nolan ones definitely didn't. Well, I know, and it was a good fit. And then then they went with the sequels way too far down that road, of course. But and then the Nolan ones came out, and I enjoy the hell out of those too. But I do, kind of miss the comic booky feel or the little bit of tongue-in-cheek stuff in there.
Yeah, you know what? Being the movie guy, the reason I really loved Batman Begins is just it introduced independent art house cinema to the masses because it had that indie art house feel to it, and that's what I loved about it. But
I like that about it too.
Yeah, I think the problem.
I agree with you,
right, Raj?
Yeah. I mean, but that's what I like about it.
Until Zaslav comes in and saves everything, and everything's okay.
Jesus Christ, man.
we've got Aaron,
Art is
Aaron Price
subjective.
joining us.
Victory is witnessed by all.
How you doing,
that's-
Aaron?
Hey, yeah, all right.
Hey, what's
How's
up,
it going,
man?
my friend?
Can you hear me?
Oh
We
yeah.
sure can.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lost here. I'm mid conversation. I don't know what you're talking about at the moment. So I know it's about the Flash you're talking about at the moment.
Yeah, we're talking about DC films and Batman in general. So I just want to introduce everyone. Everyone, Aaron. Aaron is working. Is it a restoration you're working on?
I've been doing basically restoration on visual effects shots from Superman 4. It's kind of like a pet project. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers haven't contacted me yet, or they haven't contacted me to either work on an official one, or they haven't contacted me to sue me yet. But I'm not. Obviously, I'm not making any money out of it. So, but I've had a lot of feedback. I don't know if you guys have seen my subway sequence I've done. Where
I've seen your stuff. Yeah, it's looking really good. Looking really good. Well, yeah, you'll fit right into this conversation then, because we're just we're talking about the delays. We're talking about Batman's not fun anymore. Why doesn't Batman have some fun? And we're talking about how Zaslav is going to save all DC films.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new Batman yet, but
okay. Well, thanks for coming in. Talk to you later.
But I'm more of a comic book guy. I like to see it more like a comic book. You know, a bit more fun. I mean, it's a very unpopular opinion, but I wasn't a big fan of the Nolan Batman films.
No.
I prefer it to be set more in the comic book world, rather than more of a realistic, gritty take on the character.
Well, you and Sean will get along really well.
Yeah, give me Tim Burton's Batman films any day.
Yeah, this is definitely gritty. The Batman. I mean, it's straight up like Seven. Do you remember Seven with Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dark. I mean, it's basically looking for the Zodiac killer. You know what I mean? Like it's a dark movie, like Seven, and so it's the opposite of a cartoon put into I don't, you know. I think you would like Ben Affleck's Batman way more than this Batman, but I really enjoyed it. I like different kinds of versions of things. So
Yeah, well,
cool.
you know what? I found everyone compares it to Seven, and I think that's a valid point. But it really,
we still don't know what's in the box either.
Yeah, no, right? No, but it's more film noir, like, you know, the old school film noir movies. That's kind of what it reminded me of more than anything. And I just think sorry, go on.
It's like, yeah, see, it was a cold, dark night. Her boots
It's
went
Batman,
up to
but
her knees.
also
The
Dick
rain
Tracy.
was falling down, and there was no electricity.
Say what you will about the new Batman film, though, they were smart about how they did it. You know, I'm not going to go into spoilers because Sean hasn't seen it yet, but Curtis hasn't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
He's the main focal point of the film. It's nice to see a true detective story, whether they did it in the vein of
that's
Seven
good.
or Mystery Murder. But like it wasn't just the Batman, and then he cut away to another scene or whatever. He's in every scene. You know, it's you're following this journey of the Batman, and it's basically like year 2, right?
Yes.
So
yeah. Well, that's
Sean,
good
what were you
because
gonna
you know apparently one of the reasons Keaton didn't go after the second one was he said something like, "Why am I spending all this time in this rubber suit to make a movie called Batman when it's never about Batman?"
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, he's like on the case and like trying to solve this mystery the whole movie, and you're following him around while he's solving this mystery. So it's cool. It's a completely different take than what we've seen for a long time. So I think it's really
on a
neat.
Batman film and on a superhero film too. It's like a completely different take.
This isn't a superhero
I like that.
film.
I like that.
I wouldn't even call it.
I like what you guys saying that.
Do you think though, with if Henry Cavill's Superman ever met Pattinson's Batman and he grabbed him, do you think he'd say, "Do you sparkle?" Rather than "Do you bleed?"
You know how many amazing films Robert Pattinson has done since Twilight?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done amazing films. Yeah, he gets a bad rep.
Yeah, but it's not funny if we talk about those films, James. He's trying to make a joke.
Yeah,
it's still not funny if you do talk about the sparkles. That's my point.
It's his good movies aren't memes.
Yeah, people were calling Mickey Rooney Andy Hardy until he was 90. So
right.
Put on your big boy pants, Robert, and understand you've got a fucking career and stop complaining.
At this point, it's like it's like making a joke about Nickelback. It's like, okay, that's the given. That's the joke. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's a good one. We haven't heard that one, but I made the Sparkles joke too. So.
Oh my God! Man. Go to Ontario, Canada. Right?
We still make Nickelback jokes here.
Well,
can't make if you make half the population will laugh, and the other half will like kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked across the border last week and they were making Nickelback jokes.
Really?
But now if I meet Nickelback, I can talk to them about Reboot, so I can have an in. I can be like, "Hey guys, remember Reboot?" And they'll be like, "Oh."
You can pretend to be Canadian. That's funny. But when Pattinson was cast, I messaged my sister and I sent her the article. I was like, "Hey, look, our worlds collide," because she's been a huge Twilight fan for a long time, and she's a very sophisticated, down-to-earth, smart woman. But she loves those movies, I've never seen them. All I know is that when they play baseball, it sounds like it's thunder every time they hit the ball with the bat.
Yeah.
So they have to do it in a rainstorm, apparently. That's what I took from those 3 movies that were made and made a lot of money.
Dude, when they announced that Ben Affleck was going to be the new Batman, I remember I was doing the Black Shirt podcast. We used to do it only audio back then. It wasn't a video, and we had to cut in this thing where Dirk hit me up from the future. He's like, hey, Clint, it's Dirk. I'm calling back from the future. I want you to know that Taco Bell has released a Cool Ranch Taco Bell Grande, and also Ben Affleck has been cast as Batman. I don't know what to do with my life. And like he was ready to jump off a bridge because Ben Affleck was going to be the new I'm going to go destroy my Geely DVD and I don't know what to do with myself. And it was like a big like everybody loves Ben Affleck Batman now, but people were pissed.
It was the same thing with Keaton too, right? Except
people were mad. People were mad.
No one liked Keaton when he got hired as Batman when he took the role.
But there was no internet yet.
Example.
So
yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah, but Heath Ledger's the best example. Like he was legendary as Joker, but when it was announced, they were like, "Wait a minute, the guy from 10 Things I Hate About You."
Right.
Yeah. They never gave him a chance, but he became iconic. It just goes to show you, like, what do people know, right?
It's exactly right. Well, people know everything. If you get on the internet, you will see that people know everything. They know.
They always know better than you.
Yeah, especially on Twitter. Jesus Christ.
Especially on YouTube. I mean.
And speaking of which, if you guys could hit that like button, that'd be great.
You know what? It was on Twitter I found out that I don't know anything about Batman, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Well, I always find. Sorry, I was just going to say I always find it interesting with a lot of Batman fans. Some Batman fans when they, have these battles. If you ever go to pages on the comic book pages when they're like Batman versus whoever, and there's always like the odd fans that will say he can beat Galactus, so he can, it's like, and you never win with them. It's like
we used to have those discussions when we were like,
if he has enough time to prepare, he could beat God.
He has.
Seems like Goku.
Well, I think you guys that haven't seen this movie yet are going to enjoy it because it's. I didn't know what I was going to get going into it, but it's been a while. Like, how do I put it? I was complaining about reboots earlier. I'm like, don't come in and reboot my childhood movies. The Last Starfighter, if you do that, I'll kill you. You know what I mean? Like stuff. And we've seen so many different, we've seen so many different versions of Batman. Of Batman, to where it's like, okay, how is this guy going to do the Batman? We're looking at the actor, what their build is and all that. But this was a different take of Batman than what we've seen in the movies. And it's been a while since somebody's done a new, refreshing, different kind of twist on Batman. And I think when those things come along, Sean, I think it's nice and refreshing that, and to get something a little bit different. So it's like, I think you guys will enjoy this. It's like, if anything, it doesn't feel like a comic book movie. It's a detective movie, and that's cool. So I don't even think it's apples and oranges comparing it with the Ben Affleck Batman.
Did it have bat thirst though in it?
Bat thirst.
Yeah. No, as a serious question.
Bat thirst?
I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure I saw something about Pattinson refusing to, quote, take steroids for his physique.
He was being sarcastic.
I don't think it would be steroids. It'd probably be human growth hormone.
Yeah. He said he refused to work out. He's like, I don't feel like working out anymore, and people went nuts with it, and he was kidding.
No, okay.
Yeah.
He's being sarcastic. He was trolling.
Well, still, he doesn't look
interviewer.
like anyone from like the physique wise. He doesn't look like anyone from the Marvel lineup. Everyone's jacked, no matter what character they're playing.
Oh yeah, like Paul Rudd. He had like washboard abs
Yeah.
when he came Ant-Man. You got to get that shirt or that shirt off scene, right?
Yeah.
Same with what's his name? Chris Pratt.
Kamal Najani.
There's a shirt off scene with him.
Dude,
with him
Kamal
and
looked awesome though.
there's a shirt off scene with Robert Pattinson, and I was like, dude, that guy works out. Like, he's fit. It's not, you know what I mean? People are talking smack, but how many people are built in real life? How many people are built like Thor? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
not a
but
lot.
was it 2020s jacked or was it 1970s jacked?
It was not 1970s jacked. It was that means something. You know what I mean? Be like, dude, back in the old days, you're like, dude, Gary Busey's jacked. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, or Chuck Norris. Like, that's not the guy you think's going to go out and beat
Big Wednesday. Have you ever seen Big Wednesday? That's one of my go-to movies. That's a piece of crap. Big Wednesday. John Milius's Big Wednesday.
I have not seen that. I need to go check it out.
That's one of my go-to crappy movies that I really love. Gary Busey is literally jacked in that movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Jesus. Yeah, but that's nothing compared to 1950s.
The surfing movie?
Oh yeah, just Robert Mitchum. Yeah. Yeah, just Robert Mitchum in the 50s. The out of shape, in shape guy.
Was that before or after he had to suck in his gut?
That was probably before.
Dude, Busey's jacked.
Surf.
Yeah, I think that Pattinson is Big Wednesday jacked.
Or Victor Mature, who.
Dude, Jan Michael Vincent is not looking very jacked. He needs to work. He needs to work on his core.
Wait, that's an actual guy.
And William
That's Jan Michael Vincent in the middle. He's the pilot in Airwolf.
William Cat, the greatest hero.
Oh my god!
Yep.
I thought he was just a Rick and Morty bit.
Jan Michael Vincent?
Yeah,
that's the pilot for Airwolf. Come on, dude. Respect your people, man.
Airwolf.
He's a bit younger than us, man.
He was a huge star in the 70s and 80s.
Dude, Chet is looking pretty jacked.
Cocainum.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that picture's gonna haunt me.
He's got to say cocainum in that Argyle movie.
He just looks confused in the picture, though. He's like, why did that make my
Why
hair
do I
like
have this haircut?
Yeah, like, what happened?
Dude, Leroy Kong says, rest in peace to Jan Michael Vincent. That's right. He knows what's up.
He died? Thanks for
Yeah,
the
man.
spoiler, Leroy.
Yeah, life spoiler right there.
How's it going, Leroy?
Oh. Right. Yeah, I think I'm going to jet off now, though. But yeah, James, thanks for having me on the show, man. Nice seeing you guys.
What was that, Raj? Sorry?
Yeah, I'm going to have to jet off.
You got him again.
Yeah, you keep getting me, man.
Rude bastard.
Oh, man. You know, yeah, I love you too, man. All right. Anyway, thanks, guys. Take
Raj,
care.
good talking to you, man.
Raj.
Take care.
See you, brother.
That's
okay with me.
That's a good bit you do with Raj. That's hilarious.
What's that?
What time is it there?
For me, it's 6:40 p.m. For Clint, it's what, 5:40?
It's 7:40.
7:40. For
Yeah,
Plum,
8:40.
it's 8:40. For Sean, you're at 5:40.
It's 20 to 2 in the morning here.
8:40.
Yeah, I know.
I've got to shoot off the bed in a minute anyway because I've got to be up early. So
Okay, well, connect with me this weekend and we can plan.
okay, no worries,
All
my
right.
friend.
Thanks for joining.
See you
Hey,
guys.
and thanks for your good work on Superman 4, dude. I'm all about some Nuclear Man.
I've actually got a new scene lined up, so I'm gonna do a look at repairing the cosmonaut sequence at the start of the film.
Nice.
So probably about next month, I'm gonna start working on that. 'Cause,
Dude, I used to pause the scene. There's a scene where Nuclear Man flies through the several floors, and you could see the wire pulling him through, and you could pause it with the VCR and see the wire, and it was awesome. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but there's I don't know if it's at the Daily Planet or what, but he was just flying through the building.
Who was that?
That's disturbing.
Oh my god,
that's Robert Pattinson.
Speaking of jacked. Yeah.
Or speaking of melting.
Jack Reachard.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He's melting.
Do you know what I'm talking about with that wire?
Yeah, it's the scene where Superman goes in the elevator and goes through the floors. Apparently, the stuntman that did that scene actually got knocked unconscious doing that.
Oh wow!
Because you see him actually putting his head down as he's going through the floors.
And he's asleep. He's
They
asleep.
just keep pulling him.
They pulled him through like 5 or 10 more floors. Just he's out. Just keep pulling him.
He's not going to feel it now. Like
we haven't got the budget to start again, so just keep pushing him out through the floors.
That's crazy.
Okay, guys, I'll speak to you soon. And I'll
Thanks,
try
Aaron.
a bit
Thanks,
earlier.
man.
Have a good
Take
one,
care.
brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Did we lose Sean?
Yeah, he's having internet problems.
Uh-oh. If you're having internet problems, I feel bad for you, son. Nobody else
99
knows the
problems.
song?
But internet ain't one.
But a bit. That's a tech joke. Get it? But a bit ain't one.
It's also a comic joke.
Bam.
Sean says he's sorry and he'll try to make it another time.
Sean,
Pleasure
man,
having you on here, Sean. We appreciate it.
always
Thank
good
you.
talking to you, brother.
Yeah.
I think they sell, just a heads up, Sean, I think they sell Batman encyclopedias. Like you can get like a DC encyclopedia just for Batman. Like on
If he wants to
Amazon.
learn
Pretty
about,
cheap
if he wants to learn
Yeah,
something about
just-
Batman, is that what you're suggesting?
for your next Pattinson battle.
Yeah, and beyond. Yes, sir.
Was
I'm
anyone
back.
Was anyone at
Yeah.
all surprised that Black Adam was delayed?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Was anyone at all surprised that Black Adam was delayed?
I'm
Oh,
never,
no, not at all.
I'm never surprised by any of this stuff. Like,
yeah,
I'm actually getting more and more. It's. I think the reverse psychology is happening. The more they push it back, the more I'm actually caring about the Black Adam. Because initially, I didn't care at all about that movie, and I'm actually getting more and more pumped about it. Anybody else?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I kind of.
I'm really not sure.
Like, I didn't care before. I kind of do.
I just kind of don't really care all that much about, like, you know, many of the DC characters, you know, because I guess because I just don't have the like the nostalgia for all the different characters in the comics from back when, because I only really had access to Batman comics. It was all my older cousin buying a bunch of comics and then me reading them off of him, and he really only just picked up Batman and I think the Death and Return of Superman series, and that was basically it. I don't know, as far as like Black Adam and like even the Green Lantern, I got into like way later in life, you know. So it's not like I dislike the characters, but it's just were they
okay
that
to
big?
love both, Leroy.
Yeah,
you can
you can
enjoy
like 'em both.
Yes, it's okay to love both, but that statement was just inherently wrong. Come on.
I don't know. I love them. Like, both are great because they're comic book character. They're comic book universes. They try to pull us out of the mire of our own existences by giving us something spectacular, right? But you know, one can have opinions on how they manage the differences in some storylines, right?
Mhm.
Like I have my reservations about the new 52.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think it was as good a move as what Marvel did with the multiverse,
Right.
because it's less expansive, you know.
Mhm. I liked the first one, but then they were like, "Hey, that worked. Let's just do it again." Like,
Yeah, that was their only move, really.
Or wait, no. So the new 52. So you're not talking about 52. You're talking about yeah, the new. No, see, I'm not on
Well,
board.
they had the main storyline,
Mhm.
the quote main storyline that had to be considered retconned every single time, and I think that's where Superboy comes from, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know all that much about DC and its history. But what I do remember from someone explaining it to me is that they had the original line, which was constantly being retconned from different writers and artists. And then they had the 52 and then the new 52 to try and not so much resolve differences in storylines and like shuffle together a bunch of retcons, but because they kind of write themselves into a hole with the whole only having a certain number of different universes, whereas Marvel, they just write, okay, this is the next number.
Yeah,
this is the next 4-digit number on the universe that this takes place in, and then they just let loose.
They did it as well too, if I remember. I haven't read it in, I mean, probably since it ran. But the original 52, I think that's the one they did to push their other heroes, because people were, there was the argument for a long time that all they have is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and so they weren't in any of those. And so they weren't dead. They were in some alternate world, or I can't remember. But they specifically brought up all these other heroes, and the 52 was damn good. I mean, it was like that. Like, I'm a Marvel guy, and I was like reading that crap, nonstop. I mean, because it came out once a week
to
too.
it as crap, right?
Well, no, but I mean, like, but I was reading it because it came out once a week too, and that's the thing. It just like fed the addiction even more. But it really did make you care about a lot of these other characters. That I just wouldn't have, and then whenever I didn't necessarily keep up after that, and I got excited for New 52, and I don't know how far I got into it, and I was just like, I'm not yeah, it didn't work for me. So.
Hey, Leroy Kong says, with all due respect, Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich are saying a big FU to the true fans. They should both go. Do you mean by pushing these releases back? Do you think like, hey, the merger's just going through, and they went ahead and said, hey, they had a meeting and said, hey guys, it'd be cool. We should push all these releases back just to do a big FU to the fans. Like that would probably be a good thing to do. But right before we leave, is that like what? I don't understand what you're saying. Like, what would you want to?
That's totally
like,
what their plan was. That's totally what their plan.
You think?
Was.
Like, do you think they even have a say in this, or do you think maybe like, hey,
no,
it'd be cool?
They sit around, twirl their mustaches.
Yeah,
and they're like, we got to mess with these hardcore.
Like it'd be cool. We should make an announcement on the Batman movie. We'll have a thing that says, hey, all of this stuff coming out in 22, and then we'll turn around and we'll change it. I don't know. I don't think they're that calculated, man. I think they're more worried about keeping their job or getting their resumes ready to see where they're going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, I would think. I don't know. I think. I think definitely with the Flash. Like I said, I think they're trying to get some separation, and I do think that DC or Warner Brothers is very reactive. So whatever Marvel is doing, they're reacting to it. They don't. As Sean was saying, the number of suits has gone up exponentially, and their suits going, well, Marvel's doing this, so we got to do that, and putting stuff in. And may or may not help it. I don't know, but I've never watched a bad movie and been like, you know what, that needed some more executives, but like Warner Brothers is very reactive when it comes to stuff like that. So I think they're probably pushing it back to, try and Marvel it up or do more or something like that. So.
Cameos, guys. I want cameos. I don't know why I just turned into Gilbert Gottfried. I want cameos.
That's a really good Gottfried.
Yeah, you never heard me do. I gotta get the mic away because I'll overdrive this thing. We do "Smashing Pumpkins" by Gilbert Gottfried. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. That's not bad, right? Yeah. Cameos. Really I want cameos. We need more cameos.
Oh man, that's another thing that's got me really psyched about the Batman movie. It's focused on Batman. No one else is coming in.
I didn't
For
like
real.
it. No cameos.
The amount of rumors about cameos that go around kind of force them into like this weird place where they have to just lie to the fans and be like, oh yeah, this person's gonna be in it, and then the actor who plays that character has to be like, no, I'm not gonna be in it. It's
NDAs, man.
I get the whole NDAs thing, like, and I completely respect that, but the idea of bringing in some actor from some other movie just for that little bit of hype, and he's gonna be in like one scene, it doesn't really interest me, at all. I like what they did with No Way Home because it actually like folds into the history of the character. How there was a moment where there was like 6 different Spider-Men. Yeah. Like the Clone Wars, I think it was.
I just want to address these. They're not doing a good job. These execs should all go. We need a shared universe. How do you know you're not going to get that with the Flash film? How do you know that's what they're not planning with the Flash film? I mean, it's a multiverse after all, right?
Plus, there's going to be a Zaslav cameo in the Flash film. David Zaslav. And then, dude, everything he's going to pull the multiverse together.
He's going to appear as a villain.
Actually, Cavill's upset because they cast David Zaslav as the new Superman in the new. I don't know if you heard.
Wow, what can I say?
No, honestly, like all kidding around, Leroy, man, we don't know these people. Yes, we know some of them did asshole things, and yes, we should hate on them for doing that. But we don't know them, and we don't know their motives, you know. And we get inside information, and we get scoops, and that's good. And I trust a lot of those, especially the ones that come from Mikey, because I run Gigassi, I built Gigassi, I trust Mikey. But Zaslav hasn't said anything. And we went through this with Jason Killer, and things could change. So it's like you have to set your expectations, right? Everyone said Jason Killer was going to be the savior, and then he wasn't the savior. And now everyone's saying Zaslav is, but he hasn't said anything. And like Sean McLaughlin said earlier on the stream, is like he's not just taken over DC Films; he's taken over all of Warner Brothers and AT&T. So he's got a lot to focus on. So yeah. Set your expectations, man, is all I'm saying. And you know me, I hope the Snyderverse gets restored. And, it'd be nice to see Zach come back and finish his Just League 2 and 3 down the line in a few years when he's able to. But
all these hopes and expectations come from love, though. You know what I mean? We love these 100%. Characters, and we just want to see these things done right. And so it's like it's so easy to get discouraged or get your hopes up or get pissed and bitter and angry and witch hunt somebody or just hope. You know what I mean? And it's like and that's the deal. Hope, man. We have to hope that we're going to get the stuff the way we want it, and I hope Zaslav does bring it, but but we haven't, like James said, we haven't seen any of that. And unless you could show me some crazy TV property that he came in and rescued and like show me a habit, like he's got a habit of coming in and rescuing and fixing, and maybe he did something with a reality show that I don't know about. He saved,
he brought back Hell's Kitchen.
He saved Mythbusters or something. You know what I mean? Like show me something, and then I could be like, yeah, Zaslav. But I'm holding my fingers because I had a record deal and have dealt with a bunch of suits before myself, and so it's tough for me to think that it's tough for me to give them the benefit of the doubt. I want to see what they're going to do. So,
and honestly, like I would like it as well if they kept the Snyderverse going, but I'm just telling you guys, y'all got to frozen that shit. Let it go. Snyder is happy with his free reign now with his new world that he's building. Yeah. He might come back in like 10 years or something and do a No Way Home with those characters and something like. But he's not looking to go be under somebody's thumb again. Like,
especially if he's happy and free.
That's what I'm saying. He's building a whole new universe at Netflix. They might want him back like it's the end of the world, but I don't think he wants to go back to that right now.
Yeah, but see, I could see WB after the merger, him coming back, and he has complete creative freedom. But again, like it was talked on earlier in the stream, it's easier to find new talent than it is to, and cheaper at the same time, right? So you have to take all these factors into consideration, right?
Yeah, it's like they say about a running back in football. You can draft a new running back every year. Like don't even worry about it. Like so,
we can get this new guy that did King. What was it? Was it? I think it was Mortal Kombat. I think that guy had never done anything. That new Mortal Kombat movie that did well on streaming. He had zero history. We're like, who the hell is this guy? I looked him up, and it was like he hadn't really done anything. I feel
he made a short film. Yeah,
that was it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I think I want to make movies. Your second thing you've ever made is out on Warner Brothers, and is the biggest streaming movie in during the pandemic. It was like
they should have given it to Kevin Tantron. Can't remember, I don't know how to say his name, but it sounds like that. He did a lot of episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he also did the Mortal Kombat web series, right? And he
okay, that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, and he also directed the good episodes of Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They should have given him that. So, but yeah, I don't know. I love the Snyderverse. I love the restore the Snyderverse movement, or I just feel farther and farther away every day because it just seems very angry now. And it's just like I don't we don't know these people personally. The ones that they're racist and bigots, they should go. They should have already been gone. But the other ones that are just trying to do their job, and they're executives, so they're doing a whole bunch of other things and meddling in the films, and they have plans that go out 5, 10, 15 years, or how many years. It's just, I don't know. It's just getting very, very intense. That's all. It's gonna happen. We just need to be patient, and we need to be polite, right? And support it that way. That's all.
I don't know. I agree with Curtis. You guys got to let it go, especially now with all the negativity around it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I can still hope for it, but
what negativity?
Oh, the fans.
I'm just kidding.
Look, I
didn't read that. Okay,
release
cool.
the Snyder Cut. You know, I donated. I had T-shirt and the hat and all that stuff, but now it's just like it seems very intense. I'm happy to get both. I didn't trash on James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I didn't trash on the Batman. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see anything because more DC properties are better for us, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I even enjoyed Birds of Prey when I finally watched it last month for the first time. You know, I enjoyed that movie.
I liked it too. I really did too.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
It, you know, it's a little campier than I would want to have all of my DC properties, but it was fun. You know what I mean? Like I'll watch a movie like that every once in a while.
Like, look at my background, look at my T-shirt, look at my mug. I'm like DC. I grew up on DC.
Oh.
I also love Marvel. But I mean, I know what Black Mask is supposed to be portrayed as, and that wasn't Black Mask, but I didn't get all up in arms. Ewan McGregor did well in that role, and it was a fun take on it. You know, and the beauty of it with the multiverse coming is we can have these other films, plus Zack Snyder's Justice League is still, you know, canon, right? And I think that's what the Peacemaker cameo was at the end of the episode. That was confirming it's still canon in this universe. And here's an example. I thought fans would be happy, but it was just things that they got mad about again.
Yeah, with the multiverse, you can have, you know, emo dancing Tobey Maguire in the same universe as a dying Robert Downey Jr. You know, Iron Man, even though they're completely different universes. That's the good thing about a multiverse is you can mix all that stuff up. So that campy Birds of Prey with a serious tone. Like, how weird would it be if you did have a Pattinson cameo in the Flash movie? That would be kind of wild, because it is a very different movie, and they are saying we don't want to mix it all, but that would be weird.
I guess you'd like a glimpse of him, like if
while he's running, you just see him.
I don't know.
Yeah,
he's pretty credible. He looks pretty credible.
That's how you have the Flash running like this, and then he's like, and then he just points at Robert Pattinson, and then he keeps going.
Well, no, it's like I don't know if you ever watched, ever read Final or Crisis on Infinite Earths or anything like that. Where you have like Alpha Prime Superboy standing in that big room, and then there's like all this looks like screens, but they're crystals, and it shows every Earth. Like they could do it that way, right? Like if they're showing through portals and stuff, or running through the time force, right? Same thing, like you were saying. So, but yeah, and I didn't like Peacemaker. It took me into episode 4 to actually love Peacemaker.
What?
Yeah,
you mean it took
James?
It took you longer to like Peacemaker than me?
Jesus messaged me and was like, "Dude, you and I have very different tastes."
Yeah,
because I was like, "Dude, I'm loving this show." Yeah.
To be fair, I said, you said you loved it, and I said we have very different tastes. LOL, which meant I was laughing and it was funny. I didn't say it like this.
It only took me one episode to get over the
maybe there was an LOL at the end.
Campy atmosphere, but then after that, it was golden. I think it would stand better on its own without the cameo of the JLA.
It left me looking at my phone. I was like, "What are you talking about, dude? It was fun. It's a fun show."
It seemed that there was too many. I call them shit and fart jokes. Too many of those peppered out to the first three episodes, and then like I know you love that humor, Plum, but hold on, it's like then it kind of evened out. And it got more into the characters at the same time, so it didn't stick out as a sore thumb. It's kind of like when Seth MacFarlane did the Orville. The first couple episodes were just like Family Guy humor, and then it really got into sci-fi and character development, and they kind of just like used that kind of humor when it was necessary. And then they did the same thing in Peacemaker. right? That's to me, that's how I felt about it.
It was like the Eastbound and Down of comic book shows, and then once
Right?
they get into boobs and cock rock by the like I was like, okay, dude, I found my home. I understand what he's trying to do now. It's like
I tried to watch Eastbound and Down. I'm like, no, not for me.
Really?
So there we go, different tastes.
Yeah, Eastbound and Down. I
thought it was hilarious.
stumbled onto that show, and
I'm
I
not a
couldn't.
big fan of juvenile poo and fart and toilet humor. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
You and I.
You
have
too old for that?
Very different humor.
It's not. It's not that
He's
I'm too old for it.
He's too hip.
I just it's not the kind of sense of humor I like. It takes me out of the moment, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Peacemaker's outfit is kind of goofy, so the more goofy shit you layer on top of it, it just kind of reveals how goofy the outfit is, right?
Yeah, it's you can go goofy, but if you go vulgar goofy, it's a different story. So
Dude,
I mean,
sometimes
it's just for shock sake. If it's just for shocking and being edgy and that kind of humor, it rubs me the wrong way. That's all.
Dude, sometimes I don't want to have to wear a beret and while I sip my cognac and watch TV. You know what I mean? I want to watch something that's
You told me this many times. You like to turn off your brain, and that's good. I do the same fucking thing. But if I get turned off by the sense of humor because they're talking about like all that crap too much, like if it's not overdone, just like any kind of sense of humor, I'm okay.
You still got to watch that YouTube video I sent you and asked you if you watched it.
Fuck you, Clint.
Dan, I'll send it to you later. You'll laugh.
Sweet. God.
That it's not for kids. But it's hilarious. It's a reaction. Anyway, we can't talk about it. Anyway.
Oh, it's one of those, eh?
It was a reaction video to something hilarious online, and it was like, okay. And I was like, "Did you watch it?" You're like, "Dude, poor taste while I'm hanging here in the living room." Not okay. And I realized, okay, Clint, your mind is. I'm a total scumbag, and his brain is in the gutter. I've spent half my life. My dad and my
I
brothers,
love dirty jokes, right? I come from a
thinking fart
family of
jokes.
truckers, man. I come from a family of truckers, but I'll tell you, when it's overused too much just to get itself on the map that way, I'm like, no. To me, it's not done properly. That's all. Things have to like motivations about time traveling with a Borg has to be done properly, Clint.
Yes.
But well, now to that point,
Curtis.
I was looking
to that point,
you just stop talking.
It was a motivation of he was purposefully a dick to keep people away, like later on.
What are you talking about?
Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, he's talking about the story arc.
Yeah, but this is what I was saying. Is like once the character arc started to develop past season 3.
Oh yeah, so
they focused. They gave that equal amount of screen time to the dirty humor. I was cool with it. But when it was just all here, we're gonna shock you with how gross and this guy is, and here's all the humor. Like sometimes the jokes and the conversations weren't even relevant, didn't even make sense.
You gotta have the arc though. You
gotta
have the arc.
No, but it's not. There's an arc, and then there's a steep incline or decline, is what I'm saying. It's like even with Kevin Smith, like some of with that humor,
bring that up.
It relates, but it always relates to the stories and the characters, and same. And James Gunn does this well in other films, but it just seemed like they didn't really relate. It just came out of left field. Oh my God, kitten!
And that might be a good point. I don't know.
Never call me that on the air, James.
Oh, I got this freaking cat that you will
That's
not
for off the
stop
air, James.
meowing,
Don't call me that.
That might be a good point, though. Has James Gunn done any other TV, not episodes, but shows? Because that, like you said, he does it very well in films, and maybe he didn't translate it well enough to I didn't notice it nearly as much as some people, but maybe it didn't translate well enough, so it was like it was drug out through 3 episodes or more so, because he's used to doing movies. Does anybody know if he's done anything else or another series?
Who?
Yeah, I don't. James Gunn.
Well, yeah, his Slither was really good. The film.
No. Oh yeah, I agree. No, but that's what I'm saying is that maybe it is kind of formulaic for his films, and he does it very good in the movies. But since this was a series and not a film, to my knowledge, or this is the first one he's done, so it kind of drug more. That stuff stood out more.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, like the first arc was, because the first arc was like really ramped up and then it settled in. Well, like most series, it takes, before it used to take 3 seasons, but now it takes 3 episodes, right? Because everyone's attention span is so short, and a lot of people don't want to sit with a beret and sip on cognac and watch a movie. They want to just leave their brain at the door, and I'm all for that. But I'm not judgmental like some people are. So, what's up, Charlie?
Oh, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
Hey,
Welcome,
Charlie.
sir.
How's it going?
Charlie, what's up, dude?
I'm kind of sad now because I just looked at the screen a little bit ago and I see this Black Adam delayed, and my feelings are gonna hurt. I saw the trailers and I'm just like, damn, this looks like it could be interesting. And I'll wait till the end of the year.
But you may have been hurt, but were you surprised?
Not really. I was like, maybe they're making progress. The Batman was really good. Peacemaker is decent. They're making good strides towards some better shit. It's like maybe Black Adam's decent, and then I'm like, now I'm terrified because he got pushed back again. Maybe it's because they're fixing shit, and I don't know. Maybe they're being better safe than sorry, but now I'm scared. I'm scared now because it looked like this movie was going to be a little too big for his britches, seeing that they're going to have the JSA in it and all these Dr. Fate and all these crazy characters in here with Black Adam. I'm like, what kind of story are you going to tell with this?
Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see Dr. Fate on screen, man. I'm a huge Dr. Fate fan.
That's going to be sick.
And I'm not a big fan of like mystic arts in these properties. Like I tuned out Legends of Tomorrow when Constantine came in, and Doctor Strange is okay, but I like how they're utilizing him now.
Right.
But it's weird. It's like Dr. Fate. He's been my boy. I don't know why. It's like
I think it's aesthetically. He just looks like clean. Like all his different versions of his costume over time look clean, and
and the like late 80s, early 90s comic run was really good too. I really enjoyed the art style. Like it influenced me a lot too. So it's part of like of what's part of my DNA, I guess, my creative DNA, right?
Right.
So, and it wasn't just about the mystic arts; it was also about the people inhabiting Dr. Fate, right?
Right.
So, and I think that's perfect that they got Pierce Brosnan to play him, so like an actor that can carry that weight of his backstory. So, what are you working on there, Clint? I see you looking up, grinning.
I'm good. I'm just looking. I'm just looking, man.
He sounds guilty.
Guilty as charged.
No,
I'm listening to you.
I might know what.
Yeah. I had to send Plum that link really quick just to.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
Now I'm back, guys. I'm back. I don't know a lot about Dr. Fate, but I'm excited to see it.
Right. Honestly,
well, you don't need to know anything because you're just gonna leave your brain at the door and enjoy your popcorn and watch the
with
movie,
my beret.
right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The simplest way I can describe him is essentially think about all the powers of Doctor Strange being inside of like this item, and this item like being passed down from person to person in a sense, almost. Which is honestly, I love to see different different Dr. Fates, almost something akin to maybe like what's that one show? Oh my god, I'm blanking now all of a sudden. The Time Doctor. He went through time and shit like that. Doctor Who, yeah. Like just different reiterations of different people host of Naboo would be cool to see. I felt like be something different.
So it's basically it stays in the suit, and anybody who's wearing it ends up being Dr. Fate.
Yeah, so you essentially have to give up your life because when you put it on, it's on forever until either the spirit Naboo like releases you or you die. Like your spirit essence is gone away.
And that was one of the coolest things about the Destroyer in Thor comics. So it's the same idea. The Destroyer armor. Everybody cares, dude.
I do. I love the Destroyer armor.
It was the same idea, and then they punked it out in the movie though. Like they just they really punked it out in the first one. I enjoyed the first Thor movie, but yeah,
he was kind of like a one-off. He's a one-off monster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they wasted it. They really did. Like they
and the whole point in the comics was Thor could not destroy it. Like he can't physically couldn't, like because Odin made it. So.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think the others that have some kind of way around getting to the
Yeah.
host of it. Yeah, I think. Did you guys ever play Ultimate Alliance, the game, a while back? It came out I forgot when it came out.
No.
But essentially, in a boss fight where you're fighting to destroy your armor, like they don't tell you how to beat it, and they just let you fight it, and you literally can sit there and fight the thing for 2 hours. But they don't tell you that Loki's in. You have to like make your way past the armor to fight Loki in the back or whatever. So me and my little brother would sit there and fight this damn armor for like 3 hours at a time, frustrated as hell, trying to figure out how to beat this shit, and you just can't.
Good times.
I've been
good
there.
times.
I didn't know there was that much detail in the boss fights.
Oh, dude, those that series would have got me into Marvel because they would have like different parts of the comics in there, different versions of the characters with all different costumes. They had a large roster. I was like, oh, these characters look cool. Let me look into these guys and these guys and these guys. That game really put me on the Marvel because I was a DC head before I got into Marvel before that game.
All right. I might check it out.
Dude, I can't get over this picture of Henry Cavill. This
That is Henry Cavill. What the fuck? I didn't know who that was. I thought it was just some generic dude. Oh wow.
That's a clip of his cameo from the new Flash movie.
What is he? Is he supposed to be?
He's Flat Top Man.
Flat Top Man? That's interesting.
That's from Argyle, if I heard correctly.
Yeah, his new spy movie.
He's supposed
That's
to
a
be
ridiculous haircut.
If he's gonna look like that the whole movie, I don't know if I could handle that.
Is he supposed to be stealthy with that haircut?
No, he's supposed to be fast.
I don't know. And if his eyes aren't glowing, I don't think I can handle watching that.
Oh Jesus!
We
It's
think there's
okay.
a spy. We think
That
there's
was
a
a full-
spy in the territory. Just look for a guy with a stupid haircut. That's all the info we have. They're like, oh, there he is. He's right there.
It's like a white version of Undercover Brother almost. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like it's supposed to be a satire of white spies, I guess. I don't know.
That was
Sorry.
called another Cavill movie.
Are his eyes glowing though?
No, well, there's a
That's-
light in his face.
That's full circle to the Inquisitors, the Grand Inquisitor from Star Wars not glowing in the Obi-Wan trailer. It's like flashback jokes from before you guys were on. Yeah, old school. Mikey Sutton's in the chat.
Mikey.
I gotta watch that trailer. Have you
No,
seen-
he's
I gotta
hey,
watch that
Mikey. No, he's on vacation. He's been on vacation all week.
Yeah, so
Holiday.
we're,
Yeah.
And
We're
over
just
there, they call it holiday.
we're up to no good.
up to no good.
That haircut's killing me. I'm sorry.
It's bad. It's hard to watch.
It looks like
You're
dust.
fired.
I imagine. I don't know what to say. Like honestly, I'm trying to formulate a joke about it, but
Well,
it's
I was
hard.
saying- I was saying he looks confused, but he kind of does look like he's in pain. Like his haircut's so bad it physically hurts him. He's like, "Oh God, just roll the camera, let's go."
I thought he was Chet from Weird Science for
It's like a John McClane wig from the dollar store.
It's like he bought a John McClane wig on Wish.
I wish.
It really hurts me when God gives people good hairlines and they just do this to their head.
Right?
Like really?
Just-
Yeah.
This is what you do? Okay. They're
Crazy
cruel,
bastard.
cruel. Yeah. Give me that shit. You don't want to.
God, he'd look better bald.
Honestly, he has the head for it. He may be going there. He looks like he's trying to rock the
There's
Vegeta. a little bit.
nothing
I don't-
wrong with
I
that
don't know, man.
haircut, man. That's a good haircut. What are you talking about?
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing right with it.
years.
He
Is
looks
that
like
from the new Contra movie? Super Contra 2?
No, it's from the live action Dragon Ball Z movie. He's about to play Vegeta.
Dude, what if he has a mullet in the back and we just can't see it?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So he's Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta.
Dude, he's got a long rat tail in the back.
Yeah. Kicking it old school.
Dude, this is exciting.
What if he has a Quado back there?
That's me sleeping.
Where
Yeah.
did you get a huge hippo from? And where can I get one?
That was when I drank 2 bottles of tequila and fell asleep at 5 a.m. in front of my green screen. And James, that's why I don't drink anymore. And James put that hippopotamus behind me. It was good times.
So like you said, you fell asleep and then woke up in Africa. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was like, yeah. I came in to mess with my screens and stuff, mess with some graphics, and I just fell asleep. Oh boy.
It could be worse things to put behind you, like that haircut.
Yeah, it took a while, Diesel.
Jedi, if you lean my head forward, I actually have Henry Cavill's haircut in that picture. But
you poor soul.
I'm glad Jedi Master EJ got my Contra joke.
Oh my god.
You have a lot of mics, dude. That's a lot of cord management. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, you have no idea, bro, how many cables I have over here.
I despise zip ties, but I may have to start getting some because it's getting ridiculous.
I would give you a nosebleed if you saw what I have going on over here. It's bad.
I wasn't lying about Henry Cavill's hair or having that haircut. Hey, Plum, this is back at our old studio.
Yeah, I know.
You missed it.
No. His is like chiseled down, you know? He's got a sharp
significantly
hairline.
better than his, yeah.
That is what in the black community we call nappy. Very much so nappy.
Oh, what?
Nappy. He's never seen a comb or a brush a day in his life.
Yeah.
His hair is screaming for its life.
That was me, eh?
Yeah.
That was you? That was you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Young.
Jesus.
15 years ago.
So that's the good James, and that was before you turned evil.
Accidental shade.
I still love you, James, but god damn.
I'll send you some pictures. I used to have a Dragon Ball Z afro, man.
You get a little black in you, James?
I'd rock that shit.
You want
for like
some?
20 years.
Sorry.
That was a legit fro, though, James. I'm surprised like that. Your hair texture from there to here, I would never have known.
Did you say
can still do the
Frodo?
fro.
Frodo, oh my god, that's funny.
I thought I caught that.
Like Julius Irving. That fro was serious. I thought it was a wig for a second. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, was rocking a nappy fro. I ain't never seen a white person rock a nappy fro before.
It looked like
crazy.
a merkin.
It looked so good it was fake. That's what I'm saying. I'm like
a merkin? Anybody?
Markin.
Oh, is that like buzz cut in the front? No, that's yeah. Okay,
a merkin is a toupee for your
you can't really
nether
describe
regions.
that.
A toupee for your nether regions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a history lesson. Back in the old days, I'm not even gonna get into it on the stream. Edward's gonna be like, "What did you guys do while I was gone?"
But the question is, what do you do once
Clint.
the toupee falls off and the girl asks you what happened?
Yeah, this is back in the old, like the 1700s where you were unclean if you had people would get lice and things, but they didn't want to be looked at as unclean. So if you were if you had to shave then or cut that area, then clearly you're a dirty scoundrel. So people had had wigs so that they looked like they weren't dirty. That's
crazy.
Real talk. Yeah.
And that's where our sponsor Manscaped comes in handy. If you guys want Pick our Lawnmower 3.0.
Do you need to shave your merkin?
Manscaped, talk to me if you've seen this. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Come with me
my
if you
hair,
want to live.
My hair naturally, it's very voluminous. So yeah, whenever I actually do grow it out, it's just like a constant pompadour. Like it's just I just wake up and I've got this big old pompadour. So
do you guys want to see me get shot by Laura Croft?
Hell yeah.
Always.
There's Simu.
Simu? Oh man. Yeah. I forgot you did say you saw you knew Simu early on.
Right here. I gotta make sure we don't get 6 seconds. There it is.
She's about to get the same treatment, apparently. with the quickness.
Yo, what was up with that makeup?
Dude, I didn't recognize that was Colin Farrell at all in that movie.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, we did a review for it on the channel, and Ethan let us know. He was like, "Yeah, bro, what you guys think about Colin Farrell?" I was like, "Who? Where was he at?"
Dude,
I was like, "Ain't no fucking way."
I am so excited about this movie, this show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's exciting. Like they were supposed to do a cop
What's
show.
up, vodka soda?
Vodka soda. They were supposed to do a cop show on HBO, and they ended up like twisting that. Like, people were kind of like bummed. They're like, "What? Oh, they're already canceling all these shows. Peacemaker was cool." They didn't cancel it. Apparently, Matt Reeves is retooling the show, and I hear it's supposed to be about Arkham Asylum, I think.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Cop Rock for a minute there.
No. And
Yeah, like
Cop Rock, Cop
Yeah.
Rock, the musical cop show.
Yeah,
that would be awesome. If that gives me diarrhea. I'm just, that show, Cop Rock. If you guys don't know what this is, some of you younger lads like C Diesel are like, Cop Rock, what are you talking about? Dude, there was a show back in the late 80s called Cop Rock, and it looked like NYPD Blue, like really gritty, harsh thing. And then we like, like, why did you kill this man? Blah, blah. He was beating my mom, and like blah blah blah, and like, and it's like, and it's like really dramatic, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it would be like, you can't do that
Oh my God.
to my mom,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're like, wait,
Oh,
what just
God,
happened?
yeah.
And they'll be in court, order in the court, or I'm gonna hold you in contempt, and it turns into a stupid musical.
Or
And
the
you wanna-
child abductor scene.
yeah, it's like you like seriously, you want to jump off a building when this in the show. It's like, what just happened? I was watching it like a cop show, like a procedural cop show, and all of a sudden, musical time. And if you're me, you hate musicals and you don't want to see that. So that was the worst. And I still get nightmares. I'm probably have a Cop Rock nightmare tonight. Okay, I'm calm now. But getting back to HBO, it's bad. Look, like, I'm gonna send y'all.
God.
I'm gonna find a clip. I'm gonna mail it to all of y'all.
Oh my God.
Electronic mail. But yeah, the
Okay,
not
No one
snail mail.
writes me letters anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna write you a letter.
We've been on for 3 hours. I really got to eat, but Mikey just joined. I want to ask him quickly about Zaslav. Mikey, how's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going, Mr. Professor X? Hey, Clint, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing, Mikey?
You know, today is the 1-year anniversary of Super Team Megaforce, by the way.
Holy smokes!
Oh wow,
that was 1 year ago too. My memory feed. I'm like, holy shit, it's been a year.
Wow.
I'm glad that you were able to join then, man. That's cool. Pseudo.
It means it's our anniversary. I think I met you on Super Team Megaforce.
Yeah, we did.
1
It's
year ago.
been a year. Wow.
Yeah.
Can't believe all that time has passed already.
I wanted to ask you about Zaslav because a lot of fans are just saying he's like going to be the savior, right? Because of the merger and everything.
Yeah.
But everyone was saying, and I'm talking about keeping expectations, because everyone was saying that about Jason Killar, remember?
Yeah.
And at least he would tweet out when he would go to the WB lot or something, that would hype up fans. But Zaslav hasn't said anything, and he's not just taking over DC Films. Like, we had Sean McLaughlin earlier on, and he was saying that he made a good point where he's like, he's not just taking over DC Films, he's taking over the whole company. So he's not just going to be he's not going to come in there and just be like, okay, I'm going to save this for the fans. Like,
exactly.
So what is your perspective on putting Zaslav on a pedestal when he hasn't come out and said anything, or like well, I'm sure he'll make changes, like every executive makes changes in the merger.
Oh, yeah.
But why is he up on this pedestal right now?
Well, I think it's because he's the only hope that anybody has right now. First of all, of getting rid of the regime that has caused so much drama for everybody the past couple of years. Secondly, this guy is a total money guy. He really wants to extend the content they have for HBO Max going forward. And look at what's successful so far. I think the biggest difference with him and the old regime is that he is very interested and seeing what people are into and exploiting that appetite to get more of it. And that's something that he sees with Disney. Um, Zaslav has been studying what Disney has been doing for quite a while, even before all this happened. And there is a sense that, well, Disney kind of gives fans what they want, and you have to listen to what the market is asking for. And I think that's where a lot of the optimism is coming from, James. Besides people like me who have been leaking stuff left and right about what they're going to do. Whereas the regime now, they have personal grudges against Snyder and Ray Fisher, obviously, and a lot of those things that happen. He comes in with a clean slate, doesn't give a shit about any of that, and he's like, okay, what is it that what is it the market is asking for, and how are we able to fulfill that need? And that to me is the sense of optimism, whether or not you believe my scoops or not, but the attitude coming in is totally different. So even if I didn't have these scoops, if someone asked me my opinion, do you think, for instance, that they would restore the Snyderverse? Without my scoops, I would say, you know what, I'm optimistic that they would, just based on the numbers that we've seen so far. Samba TV had said to me personally that it was a success. And there were other reports that came out talking about how popular it was. Just from that alone, you can see where this is going. And what I find very interesting, James, is that Grace Randolph's scoop would arrive on the day that the merger was approved. I think the timing of that is just very suspicious to me. You know what I mean? Like, say,
Yeah.
hey, like get the word out on this day. You know what I mean? So,
But I mean, him not dying in the Flash is just them changing course, or
Yeah.
that's always been the plan, like you had said, right?
yeah,
And
a year ago it was changed. Yeah,
and
it
then
was.
she just got wind of it now because things
Yeah.
are leaking because the merger got approved and people
Yeah.
on the channels she talks to can leak it now. Meanwhile, you were getting it through your channels. But
Yeah.
my question was like, okay, so Zaslav, he's gonna come in and he has no baggage with him, and that's good. And he's a money
Yeah.
guy, and he's studying
Mhm.
Disney. That's all good.
Yeah.
Executives that are smart, they'll do that, and especially if you're merging these two huge companies.
Mhm.
But it comes in on the merger's done. Zaslav comes in. Nothing about the Snyderverse is announced. Let's say that happens.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean that there's not going to be any plans for it, right?
Mhm.
But nothing about the Snyderverse, and I could see this happening where it doesn't happen 5, 7, 10 years because, like Curtis was saying earlier, that Snyder has created his own universe with Netflix, and he's got creative control. Like they would have to really give Zach creative control and throw a lot of money at him because
Yeah.
Sean said earlier that it's cheaper to get to find new talent and be the person that says, oh, I discovered this new talent and make a lot of money off them than it is to fix these bridges and throw a bunch of money at him and then give him creative control.
Yeah. The
So
problem
what
with
happens? Sorry,
yeah.
that was long-winded, but my question is like,
Sure.
what happens if nothing is announced after the merger? I mean, it's still going to come. I mean,
yeah.
it's no problem that it's still going to come, but because things are constantly changing in these corporations, I
Mhm.
mean, look how long we had to wait for the merger to be approved by all the shareholders.
Yeah.
And even before that, the FCC, the government. But what happens? What's the reaction going to be like then? Because everything's been propped up with Zaslav now.
Mhm. Well, right now, the most important thing for him right now is to settle in, to make the executive changes that need to be made before any announcements are made. I mean, I've been telling people be patient because first of all, there's a transition period where his people are brought in the door. Um, he's got executive changes he's gonna make. This will come, but it's not going to come right away. I mean, you're going to wait a couple of months for these things to be announced. I'm looking at DC Fandom as a way of bringing this information out, like a big platform for this to be announced. And obviously, there's going to be some negotiations going on with Zack Snyder that will not be announced in public before any of this is announced. There's a lot of discussions and deal making that will go on behind the scenes. But I think the optimism is there, and it's definitely a valid optimism. But in terms of new talent and everything, he is not very much a risk taker. He likes to play with what he's given, and so that's another difference there. Yeah, you can get some hotshot director out there, but again, that takes a lot of risk. Why find a new director and try and build them up when you already have a director that has a following, that's got a track record
Well, not
already?
just a new director. Like, look
Yeah.
what they just did with Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
You know, he knocked it out of the park with the Planet of the Apes franchise.
Yeah.
And then the Batman is doing really well.
Big Reeves.
Right?
Yeah, see, he as great as that is, you can't clone Matt Reeves. How do you find other
Well,
filmmakers?
no, that's you're not going to clone. But what I'm saying is, like, I mean, there's a lot of other directors out there, and then there's new talented directors too.
Yeah, but what Zaslav is looking at, he's looking at franchises like the MCU, that people are automatically see regardless who's directing it. People don't know who directors are, right? But you have a franchise where each chapter becomes a must-see because it's part of a larger framework, and so that's what he's looking at.
Well, didn't they start to do that already with the Justice League cameo at the end of Peacemaker? That's saying that those characters are canon in this universe.
Sort of, because James Gunn's in his own pocket universe.
Right, but that's what the multiverse is going to explain away, so we can have all these things, all these different pocket, all these different films, and be happy, right?
Not really, because look, the Suicide Squad was a bomb in the theaters because it wasn't connected to anything, and people asked me.
And it was day and date release, and it was also released in the middle of a heightened pandemic too, right?
That all that is true, but still, it would have made more money if it had Will Smith in there. If it was really connected to the DCEU as we speak. These are the things that he looks at. He looks at the MCU's track record, and all these films that are connected. Disney Plus shows are connected to the films,
right?
And so I'm not saying he's gonna copy Disney or MCU stylistically, but structurally, it's sound. And
yeah, but isn't that exactly what they tried to do with the Justice League, Batman v Superman, and then the Justice? It sounds exactly when they tried to copy Marvel at the beginning, and then that got all messed up because they didn't give Zack Snyder the patience to finish his story arc, which would have explained everything.
Well, that's why they need somebody in charge of DC Films who can be a Kevin Feige type, or have a committee of people who can be those people that can structure a cinematic franchise.
Illuminati.
Really there quick. You go. Around all those lines, yeah, exactly.
They have all these pocket, okay, so all this stuff, like that stuff aside,
yeah,
everyone is saying wait until the merger. I see it on Twitter all the time, but now you're saying to wait until DC fandom is when you think you're going to hear something.
I think that's
7 to 8 months away. Everyone's saying April for the merger, but like DC fandom is 7 to 8 months. It's probably going to be longer than that, I think.
I mean, it really depends. I mean, that's the date that I've been given as a potential for, let's say Zack Snyder comes back, or Henry Cavill has a new Man of Steel. That would be the perfect platform to announce something like that, because, like I said, there's a transition period first. Okay, you gotta bring those people in. Then you got negotiations to go through and everything. I keep telling people, just be patient. Now everything's gonna happen overnight because. You have a merger going on. You have all this important stuff going on first. Then they can start doing all the creative stuff afterwards. But you got to put the furniture in place before you move in.
Well, and not. Go ahead.
Well, sorry, I'm not trying to railroad this. I just want to.
No, you're good, man. Go ahead.
So it's going to be. Yeah, it's not going to be when the merger happens. It might be on DC fandom. It might not be. It could be the year after, and maybe that's they're thinking of pushing these films back a little bit. A lot of it, I think, has to do with visual effects, and maybe some cameos, like Clint was saying. But so it's not wait to the merger, because weren't we hearing like last DC fandom that they were going to announce something about the Snyderverse and they never did? So what happens if it's the same thing this year, and that's like 8 months away?
Yeah.
So it's not wait till the merger, and maybe it's 8 months away, but I think it could be longer though. And then this is what I think this is the dangerous part about putting, like the fans putting Zaslav front and center, like we did with Jason Killar, and then we let down with Jason Killar.
Mm-hmm.
There's no recipe though, because there's like there's not very often that a super entity takes over another super entity. So it's like we don't have anything to compare this to.
Second time it's happened with Warner Brothers. First it was AT&T, and now it's Discovery and WarnerMedia.
Yeah, but you got different actors in place.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And Jason Killar came from AT&T and went to head HBO Max. Like AT&T hired him. So then he was the one that everyone's like, oh, he's gonna save everything, And then so I'm worried the same thing's gonna happen with Zaslav.
Yeah, there's
and I'm just talking about keeping expectations here. Like keep the hope alive, but like set some expectations here.
There is no expectation, so you can't set expectations. You have to every head of a company is going to do something different. Well, they're going to get people in place that they feel comfortable with, so they're going to do some house cleaning. If they do a lot of house cleaning or a little house cleaning, that remains to be seen. If they do a lot of house cleaning, we'll all be smiling because we know that those guys have been doing a crap job. But like, you know what I mean? But other than that, there's no way to know. And they might do a 2-year plan, 5-year plan, 10-year plan. Like, but we don't know what they're going to do.
Or they might have plans now, and it might change in 6 months. Or
exactly
because things always change all the time. That's what happened with Killer, and that's what happened, when AT&T bought Warner Brothers.
Just the performance of Doctor Strange 2 could completely affect how something happens, because they might have a knee-jerk reaction to that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean anything.
So I got a question.
Wait, Mikey, do you want to respond to that first? Sorry.
Well, I think house cleaning is the most important aspect of this optimism. The fact that we get those people out the door, anything can happen after that. Okay, and that's where the expectations come in from. And when I talk to people about the expectations, the thing that they're most expecting or they're most upbeat about is the fact that Toby Emmerich and possibly Walter Hamada will be gone. Because whenever there's a merger, like the person in charge is going to put his own people in there. It happens all the time. It's inevitable. You start looking behind your back like, oh my God, do I still have this job tomorrow, right? I mean,
but Hamada's contract's up anyways next year, isn't it?
Yeah, he won't get renewed. Yeah. And I think it was Variety. One of the trades today was already talking about possible replacements already on the executive level. I mean, it's the word's getting out. Okay? Yeah. And so for a lot of the fans I talk to, the first thing they talk about is like, before we start the Snyderverse, they talk about, wow, is Emmerich still going to be there? The gatekeepers are going to change. And then that's really where a lot of the optimism comes from, James, is the fact those people are going to be out the door. And anything can happen after that. And I always stress that.
Sorry?
Yeah, I always stress that it's not like it's not like Zaslav is this humongous Snyder fan, which I find out he is. He does like Zack Snyder's work, but he's not doing it for that. He's doing it to serve his customers and give them more of what they want. And the whole MCU structure is something that he is very, very impressed by. And something that he feels like they could have done better, that DC blew it. They really had the chance to do something with it, but their constant interference with Zack Snyder, and really they didn't even have an overall plan like Feige does. The dude, Feige is like thinking 10 years away from now. Like, I don't know what.
Somewhat, yeah. He looks in the future, but it's constantly changing.
He does adapt. Yeah, he's flexible that way. But that's something that they need to do going forward. And you know what? And Zaslav likes to talk franchises: Game of Thrones, Harry Potter. You know, when he thinks of DC, he thinks of it as a franchise, not just individual. You know, director-driven DC movies. You know,
Right.
he's looking at the entire package.
Well,
and-
the Batman's going to be a franchise. The Flash is going to be a franchise.
Yeah.
Right. Like Shazam is a franchise. Black Adam is going to be a franchise. JSA will be a franchise after that, most likely.
Well, JSA is connected to Black Adam, so you
Yeah.
know.
Owlman, don't forget Hourman. Don't forget about Hourman.
God, yeah,
So-
that was a running gag a year ago.
So we have these. So he's got the franchises, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But it's not guaranteed it's going to bring Snyder back.
I'm not gonna guarantee it, but from what I heard from a lot of
Right.
insiders, that he will be brought back to the fold.
Okay. And we're talking DC fandom or later, right? Not after the merger.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, technically it's after the merger, right? But that depends on how you define after the merger. Like I always
We
said,
won't hear we won't hear any announcements till after till DC fandom or later. Like,
yeah.
There's a transition period. Yeah, we
Yeah,
might hear something about the air cut.
Oh, the haircut, yeah. That I'm seeing much earlier than
But
not much to do there,
any,
really.
Any new Snyderverse productions we won't hear for most likely 8 months to a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it just like.
But here's the thing, James. I mean, if Zaslav meets with Snyder, that's gonna leak. That already is gonna put up those flags like, oh, something's gonna happen, right?
Mhm.
It's like when you hear an actor has met with Feige or something, you're like, wait, people's antenna goes up, right? Like, huh, there's smoke, there's fire, right? So
No, for sure, 100%.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
hope it happens, and I think it'll happen. I'm
Yeah.
just keeping my expectations in check.
Oh yeah, that's a
and
good thing. That's a good
keeping
thing.
it
But
real. Like, I feel very overwhelmed by the fandom now. You know.
oh
It
yeah,
seems-
I can
it
see
seems very,
why.
very, very intense. Before it used to
is,
be
it
fun. It used to be fun, and there was not a lot of
Yeah.
arguing, and we just like supported it, and and like that, and then it was fun to see the billboards and the banner and get your T-shirts and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then and I was like, come on, announce it. And then November, you said it was coming, and I was like, yes, because I really wanted to see this Zack
Yeah.
Snyder's vision, But now it's just like every day hammering it over the head and constant arguments. I'm just like, okay.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just that's the way it is, because like people read a headline and they'll make up their own
Mhm.
ideas of it, or someone will say something and it's completely out of context, like Robert Pattinson saying he didn't want to work out anymore as a joke, right? And then it was huge headline. It's the same thing with like that's what you see after the merger. So
Yeah.
like once the merger goes through, the day after, a bunch of people are going to be like, well, what happened? Why didn't we get a Restore the Snyderverse movement on the day after?
Mhm.
And like, why didn't Zaslav come save us? Zaslav's supposed to save us, but it's just you got to be realistic.
I think a better way of saying it is not necessarily rein in your expectations, but just be patient. You know?
Yeah.
For things to unravel, because it's kind of like this, James. After the Fox Disney deal went through, right? People were saying, "Hey, where's the X-Men announcement?" And there's no X-Men announcement. Where's the Fantastic Four? And where's Remember, Rob Liefeld said Deadpool will not get made because he couldn't wait any longer.
Yeah. Well, not get made without his involvement. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. But
All right,
yeah,
well-
it is overwhelming, though. I agree with
Yeah.
you.
I appreciate the clarification because
Yeah.
I wanted to see where it all stood. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Good
it
seeing you
makes
guys.
sense if you look at it like from the perspective of like, okay, this guy's going to come in and then look and be like, okay, we want a connected universe like they have. We already
Yeah.
have a foundation that's built. Why
There you
would we
go.
not just use the foundation that we spent years building? Because it took those guys, 12,
Because
13
money-
years.
money
Yeah.
and
Well,
schedule.
you don't. Well, yeah, you don't want to waste the money that's already been put in
No,
building
I
a foundation.
agree with that.
I
but
think, or you could say we want a fresh start. We don't want to live. We don't want to build our house on other people's shaky foundation. It just matters. It matters what color glasses you're wearing. You know what I mean? If
No,
you got,
yeah,
if you
but
got
and I
Pat-
hope Zaslav comes in and says, "Hey, let's take what we build and utilize it." It's
Yeah.
the same passion I have for when I wanted the Snyder Cut to be released. I wanted to see it finished. I wanted to see, because I'm a huge fan of Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you got to think, how much money is it going to cost? How are you going to work around the schedules? So you got money for Snyder, then you got money for that whole cast that are super huge stars now, right?
Yeah.
How much money and time and scheduling that's going to take? And that's a lot of balls to juggle in the air, a lot of plates to spin. It's
lot of
not going
balls.
to happen the day after the merger. It might not even happen in DC fandom. And
Look,
even if it is announced, then it's not going to happen for like 3 to 5 to 6 years, is what I'm saying.
It might not ever happen. You just got to hope that Zaslav is wearing Snyder colored glasses. That's all I'm saying.
Why would here's my question? Why would they even announce it though? You'll keep talking about the announcement. If they've got Flash and Aquaman coming out next year, and they can take one scene with Henry Cavill or something and stick it in those movies, why would they announce it beforehand and letting the hype instead of letting the hype be involved in those movies? I don't think. Why would you come out and announce that it's going to happen whenever they could, put one scene in these movies and let that be
I
the
don't.
announcement?
We're getting into what ifs of what ifs right now.
No,
What
but I'm
If
just
is
saying,
a Marvel
like,
property. That's not a DC property, man.
But I'm just saying, like, why would you specifically announce it? I know the fans are going crazy for it, but whenever you could, especially with something like Flashpoint coming out, to even if it's completely unrelated, you stick, somebody in there and let them go nuts for another year.
Look, I believe Mikey's information, right? Like,
well, I'm not saying I don't.
No, and I'm not saying you don't. I'm just I'm just trying to end this in a way like I believe in Mikey's information. I always have. So much stuff has come true, but and his information is accurate, but it just gets really hyped up, and I'm just trying to keep it to a realistic level.
Yeah.
Of like
Appreciate
how
that,
things happen with corporations and franchises, and how long it's gonna take.
Yeah, I have to constantly repeat myself to other channels saying, be patient, because I think people do get impatient. It really reminds me of Disney Fox, because people are starting to panic. Remember, James, all that bogus information about the Fantastic Four being race changed and all sorts of bogus rumors that came around. Deadpool will be PG rated, it'll be toned down, and a lot of it, James, is just is impatience, but also there are YouTube channels out there that enjoy people being impatient by egging them on and creating these very negative YouTube videos where like the sky is falling. Share my video, please. There's no Deadpool. He's done. PG.
Yeah, you get way more clicks with that than you do.
You do.
Yeah.
Seriously. All the negatory stuff. It's just fake. But people, human nature, Clint, you know this. When they see something negative, they're more inclined to share it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Or to talk about it.
Yeah,
than
exactly.
What they actually like. No, I agree with that. I'm optimistic, and I just want to get some clarification.
Sure,
because
it's great.
Now that the shareholders have all agreed upon, and we know the merger's officially happening in April, like you said months ago. I wanted to find out, like, even before you came on, we were going through the logistics of what this could mean for the Snyderverse and stuff, and so I was glad you popped in the chat. And
oh yeah, it's great when your anniversary of Super Team.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
what's really exciting is now that Zaslav is in charge, that the pandemic will be over. That's what I'm excited about. You know what I mean? Like he's coming in to end the pandemic.
There you go.
We can all go back to the movies.
He's gonna part the Red Seas.
All right, my friends, we're gonna 3.5 hours now. We're gonna wrap it up. All right, Clint.
Thanks, James.
Where can we find you? Hold on there, Mikey.
Yeah.
Mikey, thanks for popping in, and let's all say bye and tell them where we're coming from. Where can you find me? You can find me at with Curtis actually here in what time is it? It's 9. I'd say about 37 minutes. We'll be doing a stream. We'll be talking about Free Guy and the Atom Project at youtube.com/Clint Baker channel. Clint Baker channel, and you'll see me next Friday on small screen. So.
All right, we got Plum here. Plum, where can we reach you?
You can reach me on Twitter at Daniel Plum, and you can catch the videos I edit on YouTube on the small screen channel.
Check out his awesome videos. Yeah,
I am
YouTube.com.
Sorry, guys.
All right, Mikey, where can people find you?
GeekossyMag.com. Gonna have some Ben Affleck coverage tomorrow morning. Just wanted to say hi to everybody, Clint, James, everybody. Thanks for letting me be here tonight. It's great.
Oh, thanks for popping in, brother.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Curtis. Oh, no. Charlie. Sorry, I'm going to the bottom.
I'm next. No, you good. You can find me on YouTube at the Then and Out Podcast and Apple Music, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all the Then and Out Podcast. I think later on tonight I want to get into talking about the new Obi-Wan trailer. So I'm ready to actually see that one.
Oh, yeah, looks great.
Star Wars nerd myself, so I'm ready to see that.
Yeah. Curtis.
Hey guys, you can find me. You can find me here. I'm going to be on the show with Clint later on tonight. I also have. You can go to Bakertown, the YouTube channel. We have 2 videos now, not just one. We have the 2 videos. Thank you very much. If you go on there, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We might have a spring break, so there might be a 3rd video this week.
It's okay with me.
Fingers crossed.
All right. And as always, you can reach me at 42.com and YouTube channel Small Screen Co. and behind the scenes Small Screen Geekosity. And another site, which I'll declare soon.
Oh.
Ooh.
You guys,
man.
Everyone here.
What are you waiting for, fandom, James? Come on.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone in the chat. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, there you are.
I want cameos. More cameos. More cameo. You know what we need? More cameos. More cameos.
Family, 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 family.